Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, November 17th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $, ORIONNWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Sunday Night Football here on NBC and Peacock. The Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow versus the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 10 minutes. What a wild weekend for NFL and college football action. Now let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get ready for some NFL action. Let's get it, baby. And on the thumb, on the left at SoFi at night, it is the Tiger King, Joey B, Joe Burrow. And on the right from the Oregon Ducks, it's our boy J Herb, Justin Herbert. I am very excited about this particular matchup with these quarterbacks. We obviously know the Chargers like to ground and pound and play great defense, but when you have Joe Burrow on the other side with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, as well as a few other weapons, we will wait and find out to see how it all plays out here on Sunday Night Football. Let's go, baby. Megan in the building, what's good? Daniel in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get it, baby. Yeah, big win for the Seahawks. The first time that they've been able to win in San Fran. I definitely thought that they would have a chance to be able to get that done, but it took everything that they had to be able to get that win. But again, not every game is going to be a blowout. Sometimes when you go with a rival, it ends up being very, very close, down to the wire. Congratulations. Big victory for Seattle, especially with all of the chaos kind of surrounding the team. Releasing a player, having a player retire midweek. A lot of unusual things kind of happening for the Hawks, but they found a way to get it done on the road, and a big win for Seattle. And also a big win for the Colts. We know the Jets are a bad team, but still, for AR to be able to kind of flex his muscles out there, be a little bit more accurate with the reads, even getting a rushing touchdown and trucking a guy. It was nice to see. I would like to be able to see him do it against, better competition, but we have to understand, he had one good game in week 1 and bad games the rest of the way. And then obviously got hurt, got benched a little bit, and then obviously got a chance to be able to come back. So, with all things considered, it was a great performance by AR. Now, let's see if you can do it next week and then the following week. But for the time being, let's see, how things progress. But even though it was against kind of a shaky team in the Jets, a W is a W, a win is a win, regardless if it's by 1, 2, or 3. And again, it could have been much worse. We've seen AR, throw for 1 touchdown pass and 3 picks. We've seen him not get into the end zone by using his legs. And it was nice to be able to see him have that connection with Downs and the rest of the team. Another disappointing loss for the Jets and a big win for the Colts. Yes, I agree. And like I said, I watched all of your guys' games this morning. I watched the Colts play. I always have Red Zone and multiple games on, not only, for fantasy purposes, but just to be able to see how you guys are doing with your fan base and your guys' team as well. We're going to be shooting for 20 likes, obviously, within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and we're going to be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Last night, we actually had a pretty memorable night. We actually had the biggest number of people on live stream here on the channel ever. We ended up cracking 15,500 people plus. We had over 700 in the room at one point. So 2 of the 4 biggest streams that we've had based on how many people we've had in the room have been this year, and both of those have been Duck streams. The first one was the Boise State game where Oregon almost lost. And it's not, Duck fans coming in to celebrate. It's usually haters, hoping that the Ducks lose. So anytime the Ducks are going to be in a position where they're the number 1 team and they're playing someone where they probably should win or win by a big amount, and it ends up being a little bit of a closer game than expected, the haters come out And again, I don't mind it. We ended up gaining 30 to 40 subs just last night. Had over 700 people in the room at one time, 15,500 plus. That's the most that we've ever had on the channel. A few years back, we had a couple that hit over 10,000, but it's been a minute. But the Boise State, Oregon was 9,700, 9,800. So we almost hit 10,000 people in that one. So I feel like the better that the Ducks do, the more that we're going to be able to get the attention of people circulated on YouTube. And again, when the Mariners do well, on top of that, if we can ever, be one of the best teams in baseball, I feel that with all the coverage that I do for being kind of like Mr. Seattle Mariners and Mr. Oregon Ducks, it's finally starting to, kind of gain some ground. And again, hopefully we'll end up getting some bigger streams like that. And who knows, maybe as Oregon continues to keep, hopefully winning, we got a bye week, then we play Washington, Big Ten championship, probably against Ohio State, which could be a big one. And then obviously the college football playoff that I'll be doing, not just Oregon, but other teams as well. This could be a pretty big year for us here on the channel, just based off growth and to be able to get more subs and views and possibly dono opportunities as well. So that was a pretty big moment. And again, I don't mind if the haters want to come out and talk shit. That's just usually what happens when your team ends up being the best. And you have other, fans of, Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, or any other school. They hate to see someone in the number one spot that's not them. And I'll bring on the haters. It doesn't matter to me as long as that we're able to keep growing and having a good time. And at the end of the day, the Ducks got the dub. And that was a very monumental stream for us here on the channel. 15,500 plus people. That's pretty solid for a Oregon Duck stream. Let's go, baby. Britt in the building. What's good? Missed ya. Hope that you've been doing well. Hope Colton's doing well. I know that, NASCAR, we got to wait till February. So obviously, it's normally going to be college football or the NFL. I like to see in the progressions, from Drake May and some of your guys' quarterbacks that are on your guys' teams that you root for. You're not necessarily going to get everything that you want every single year in fantasy, with your college football teams and your NFL teams. It's hard to be able to go, 3-0 or 4-0 with all the things that you root for. But again, definitely been seeing some growth out of a lot of these quarterbacks in this rookie class. The Bears, with Caleb Williams, they should have won that game against the Packers, and they ended up having a field goal blocked at the end of the game. And as of some of us in the room, we're very familiar with blocks at the end of the game. And again, if you end up being the team that blocks a field goal at the end to win, great. But if you're the team that ends up getting the field goal blocked, it's terrible. And again, the Bears should have ended up winning that game, but again, that's what ends up happening, and that's sometimes the way that the ball bounces for us. I got the Hawks on here with the Blazers, 102-101 with about 2:48 left. Hopefully the Blazers will win. They were up by 8 with about 6 minutes to go. It's Rip City, baby, all day, every day. Hopefully they can get it done, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I would assume that he'll end up getting fired, at some point. I don't know how many years they're going to give him. They might give him another year or two. But again, I think with Drake May, just being raw and not really having the experience. But if you go back and looked at what Drake May looked like in the first, preseason looks, the first couple weeks of the season until now, is it a complete product for your team? No. And again, you already knew you were only going to win 3 to 7 games this year. But I think one thing that you can notice when you're watching the Patriots, they're able to move the football a little bit more with ease. It's not going to be easy every single game, but you're seeing Drake May start to get a little bit more comfortable, just like the other quarterbacks that are rookies. Sometimes it's going to take a few games. Sometimes it takes a half a season. Sometimes it takes a couple years. But I ended up tuning in, obviously that being your team, and just kind of spying on Drake May and the team. And again, at the end of the day, there's not going to be a whole lot of dubs because you don't have the depth, at running back, wide receiver, offensive line, defense, and you don't have the right coach. I think that Mayo is not the right coach for the team. But again, you're going to have to go through these trials and tribulations. And then at some point, either things are going to turn around with Mayo or he'll end up getting fired in a year or two. But hopefully, for your sake, Drake May keeps getting better and better and better. So let's go, baby. Captain in the building. What's good? Big win. First time beating the Niners in San Fran in quite a while. I think Gino was 0 for 4, 0 for 5. So nice to be able to get that first win. And again, a win against a team that is a heated rival on the road. Not a lot of people were giving Seattle a chance. A lot of the quote-unquote experts picked San Fran. I had a feeling that Seattle could win that game, and I knew it was going to be a grind. It wasn't going to be easy, but really what it came down to is limiting Debo, limiting Christian McCaffrey. Now, Jennings ended up getting his, right? But for the most part, Purdy didn't really have the typical Brock Purdy day. You know, usually that is a team that is in the top 2 or top 3 in passing, and they usually do that at will. So Seattle, you know, they made the right plays at the right time, and things were a little, slow at first. And obviously the game wasn't as high scoring as maybe some thought. But again, at the end of the day, defense wins games, defense wins championships, and a big, big win. I think really the only surprising win of this particular matchup, that we had on the Sunday night slate and Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon slate was the, one particular matchup. Right? And I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but there was one team that ended up winning by a lot that I don't think people anticipated. The Atlanta Falcons should be the team that wins the NFC South. We know the Bucs and Saints obviously the Saints are starting to kind of roll now with firing Dennis Allen and with their new coach, right? And the Bucs on a bye. But Atlanta, just getting absolutely demolished by Denver. And it's not just by Atlanta losing, but by losing by that much. But sometimes that's how it kind of goes in the NFL. You never know how it's going to end up going at the end of the day. Manu in the building. What's good? Let's go over some of the scores here for the game before we end up getting started. Yeah, Bosa hurt definitely helped. That's 100%. You are 100% true and accurate with that statement. Packers 20, Bears 19. A blocked field goal at the end by the Packers. Chicago should have won. Caleb played much better after firing the OC Waldron, the former Seahawk OC, and the Bears OC got his ass out of town, and they look much better. And don't be surprised if the Bears start winning a few more games towards the end of the year. Lions 52, Jags 6. The Lions have put up 52 twice. They're arguably the best team in the NFL right now, best in the NFC for sure, and it's going to take a really good performance out of the playoff teams to knock them off this year. The Lions might be destined to the Super Bowl. Vikings 23, Titans 13. Nice win for Minnesota. Dolphins 34, Raiders 19. No surprises there. Rams 28, Patriots 22. If the Patriots had a little bit more defense, Stafford would have had 4 touchdown passes. Facts. Saints 35, Browns 14. Jameis Winston coming back to Nolans and getting stomped. Nice job by the Saints. Colts 28, Jets 27. The Jets are terrible. They have a worse winning percentage than they did when they had, obviously Zach Wilson and a few others. I'm pretty crazy that, Aaron Rodgers can't get it done at this stage of his career. You think that he would have at least something left. And AR played fantastic today. So that's 2 good games on the year. Let me see a few more. Steelers 18, Ravens 16, stopping Lamar. And it's really the only team in the NFL that knows how to stop Lamar Jackson. Facts. Out of the end zone. Down the sideline. And a decent return for the Bengals. Broncos 38, Falcons 6. Big surprise there. Shout out to Bo Nix and Troy Franklin from the Oregon Ducks. Go Ducks. Seahawks 20, Niners 17 in a rivalry game on the road. Big win. And then the Buffalo Bills 30, Chiefs 21. They go down, and we don't have any undefeated teams anymore. And I kind of had a feeling that Josh Allen was going to get that done. Thursday night, Eagles 26, Commanders 18. Tomorrow, Texans and Cowboys for Monday Night Football. And that is your slate. Let's go. All right, here we go. Let me turn it up here real quick. 2nd down and 5. After a nice 5-yard gain by Chase Brown there. Let me turn it up. All right, here we go. I got the Bengals spinning logo and the Chargers spinning logo. And we'll have that based on who has the football. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Smash the like button for your boy. And let's get into some Sunday Night Football. This should be a good game. It might end up being somewhat a little bit lower scoring because the Charger defense is so elite. But when you got Joe Burrow, he can still make an elite defense look average at times. But again, the Chargers have been electric on defense this year. And again, they've made all the difference in Justin Herbert's development. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out. But it could end up being very, very close. And who knows? Maybe it'll end up being whoever has the ball last wins the game. And hopefully that ends up being the case. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I mean, even though Nix is a rookie, he's the most polished quarterback rookie in the draft in 2024. Jaden Daniels and Caleb are going to have the ups and the downs. Same thing with Drake May. But I think if you're looking at game in and game out, I think Bo has slightly been better than even Jaden week in and week out, but they're both, at the top. Caleb is trying to catch up and he's getting closer since they fired the OC. So it might end up being like a 3-way tie with those guys. And then Drake May might be a little bit behind the pack, but he's on the Patriots and they don't really have the right coach. And they have probably the worst supporting cast out of those quarterbacks on those 3 teams. So you can't expect Drake May to be the best quarterback, when he doesn't have all the other weapons like the other 3 quarterbacks do. But definitely excited for this draft class. And then hopefully J.J. McCarthy will play well for the Vikings next year, as well as Michael Penix Jr. on the Falcons when he gets a shot. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, they didn't get the job done, today. And I don't know if we're going to see Michael Penix Jr. this year, but it wouldn't bother me one bit. All right, no worries. Yeah, I just like being able to see people succeed. I don't like, seeing people fail. And we've already seen so many quarterbacks fail, in the last, 10, 15 years, and they can be hyped up, all they want, even winning Heismans, but that doesn't mean that you're going to end up panning out in the NFL. And it's just nice to be able to see the progressions, of some of these guys that people love to talk shit about. And again, they're rookies, they're not going to look like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. And if you go back and look at, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning early in their career, it's not like they were throwing for 40 touchdowns and 4 picks right out of the gate. It takes time, and you have to have the right coach. You have to have the right OC. You have to have the right offensive line and the right skill position players to help you. So, give it a little time, but I do really like this draft class, and we still have a couple quarterbacks to wait on to see what they can do. And then if McCarthy and Penix end up being better than expected, this might end up being one of the better draft classes like we saw with the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen draft class, the Joe Burrow draft class. So I feel like it might be able to match up to that draft class down the road. But it's too early to say because we're in year 1. But give it 3 more years, and then we'll be able to see and kind of compare to the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen draft class, Baker, and then the Burrow and the Justin Herbert. There's a couple draft classes that had some really good quarterback play, and we'll see how it goes. Big 3 from Shaden Sharp, 109-108 Blazers at home with a minute to go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. But anytime you end up playing, a rookie or a vet, you don't really know what you're going to get. You can have a green matchup, and you can be, someone like Jared Goff and throw 4 or 5 picks, and then the next game throw 4 or 5 touchdowns. So, it's really tough to be able to gauge this year. I feel like fantasy has been much harder to predict than ever. And normally you kind of have an idea, if it's a green matchup and it's a high green matchup and it's a bad defense, you assume the quarterback will play well, but it hasn't been the case for every single great matchup. And that's why it's been a little hard to be able to pick the right, lineup in fantasy this year. It's not just so cut and dry. It's not just black and white. There definitely has been some surprises in 2024. Shotgun set on 2nd down and 7 for Burrow. Play action fake. He's got plenty of time going down to his check down man. And there's Chase Brown with a short gain. 3rd down and 6 for the Bengals. Yeah, it kind of shows you the pecking order, when you end up playing arguably the best team in the NFC and one of the best teams overall. If you don't bring it, all game, and even if you do, you might end up getting fucking crushed. And unfortunately, that's what happened with you. Good defense there by the Chargers. Incomplete to punch that out from T. Higgins. First game back from the injury, and he might be a little off and a little raw. Charger defense and their mentality has changed completely with Harbaugh in the building. I think everybody wants Travis Hunter. Hell, I would take Travis Hunter on the Bucs as well. Like, I mean, that's going to be a really good piece. And you got to think, when you get that player, you could line him up on defense. You can line him up at wide receiver, punt returner, kick returner, possibly. You never know. You know, you could even, put him in some, trick plays, jet sweeps, and reverses. There's probably going to be, more plays that could be called for a player like that than anybody besides maybe Penn State's player, that just does everything, that plays almost every position in the game. All right, Chargers, your turn. Good stop there for the Charger defense. Let's see what Jay Herb can do from the Oregon Ducks. Let's go. Yeah, but even if you get Travis Hunter, that's not going to solve all the problems. I think you know that. You need like 6 Travis Hunters and then and a few more defensive pieces as well. But hey, there's always a starting point, right? First down and 10. Shotgun set, handoff. Gus Edwards, Gus the Bus. Good gain there on first down, 7 or 8 yards. 8-yard gain for Gus. Second down and 2 for the Bolts. Let's go, baby. Who's going to come out on top, Burrow or Herbert? Blazers 111, Hawks 108. Come on, baby. 18 seconds left. Let's get this dub. Only 1 interception for Justin Herbert. Fantastic. And again, he's not throwing the ball as much. He's, calculated when using his legs. And again, it's a ground and pound because it's just like a Michigan offense. Run the football as much as you can, right? Timely throws when needed and play some amazing defense. And again, Harbaugh got this team to the playoffs more than likely in year number 1. And again, we need to definitely give our kudos to a guy like Harbaugh. Amazing. Now, hopefully we can get the Kraken to win as well, for sure. I was looking at some stats, and they were saying that the Jets are bottom 3 in rushing this year. And obviously, I'm not sure if you heard that stat or saw that stat, but you just kind of never know. Red matchup, neutral, green. And sometimes that happens. But again, you have like a superstar team. So it's not like a regular team that is like a 10-man league or 12-man league. Most people have to play Brees because they have no other choice. Good defense there by T-Rex and company by the Bengals. But again, when you end up doing like a family league or you do a league that only has 4 or 6 participants, then you end up having this like overly stacked, all-star roster where you have too many running backs and wide receivers to choose from. And sometimes you just choose wrong. And unfortunately that happens. It's happened to you. It's happened to me. And again, there's guys that I had on my team that I ended up replacing that went on the wire and just went off. If I would have, like if Jared Goff didn't, shit the bed last week against the Texans, I would have started him this week over Patrick Mahomes or even maybe a Stafford. But it just seems like every time I put a guy in as like a streaming quarterback, they end up shitting the bed. And then I'm a little uneasy on, starting him the next week if I lost the previous week, And I don't think anyone anticipated Jared Goff, going off for 4 or 5 touchdown passes after throwing 4 picks the previous week. Sometimes I need to see like a good game before I start a guy again. But that's the way the NFL has been going this year. You could end up being absolutely dog shit the week before and then being 100%, fantastic the next week. But it's definitely been a pretty big challenge on picking the right players in the right lineup in fantasy in 2024. So. Yeah, Darnold has been kind of up and down as well, though. He hasn't, been as good as he was in the first month of the season. So, again, that's another individual that I've rostered on my team. Darnold, Stafford, Goff, and they're all kind of in the middle where they're ranked about 10 to 15. But there are going to be moments where they can put up 20 to 30 points in fantasy, but also they can shit the bed and give you 5 to 8. So you have to be very careful on when you end up starting those quarterbacks because it could end up benefiting you to a dub or it could make you lose if they end up having a shitty game. So, and I feel like those quarterbacks, most of the time are pretty fucking good. but sometimes the defense gets the best of them and makes them kind of shit the bed. So. Yeah, it's like the sports gods. They love to punish us. It's terrible. Yeah, they went crazy today. Let's go Blazers, up by 2. But, if I would have just, stuck to my guns and then just went for the matchup, I think I could have beaten Reflect this week. I'm going to have a chance, with what I did, with my performance. But I think if I would have got, trusted my gut, and if I even went Darnold, Goff, Darnold had 23, Goff had 34, Stafford had 27. If I would have chose any of those 3 and just rolled the dice, based on whatever happened last week and just said forget it and move on, then I think I would have easily beat Reflect, by whatever, 5 or 10 points. And it looks like the Blazers are about to win. But again, for me, fantasy is about trust, just like in friendships and relationships. And if I don't trust, it's hard for me to be able to, commit, to that player in fantasy, especially if you had a dud week the week before. Burrow, pressure, stepping up in the pocket, floater. He's open. Jamar Chase, rumbling and a bumbling. First down, Bengals. Hard hit on the sideline by the Bolts. Move the chains. Bro, Captain, how are you going to lose with 24 at kicker, bro? You should have grabbed one of those other quarterbacks and starting Geno. See, if you would have started Stafford, Goff, Darnold, then you would have gotten a few more points, and that might have been the difference. But, again, you started off very strong. I mean, hell, that game was all field goals, and I was like, wow, anytime you end up getting like 15 or more from kicker, and if you have a good defensive score, you usually have a pretty good chance to win. But, again, when you're going to be going against a team that could win the championship in like Reflect or Zini, or Shep, you never know what could possibly happen, but still it'll probably come down to you or Elliott for that last spot. So even if you lose to Zini, I don't think it's, over. I still think that you could get that last spot. It'll come down to just a couple people for 4th place. So. All right, Blazers win 114-110. Hell yeah, I can turn that off now. All right, let me turn this off and I can have my full focus now. All right. All right.
This is a defense, though, that is going to allow some runs, right? Let's be clear about that. This team is
first down and 10.
15 points a game. It's like we're looking at 85 Raiders kind of stuff here, right? But what they're willing to do.
And it shows you like how important it is to be able to hit on as many spots as possible. It's like if you end up having duds, at like 3 spots, you might be able to get away with it, but I feel like most of the time you can only dud with like 1 spot, maybe 2 if you're playing a really, really good player. You have 3 duds or more, you probably lost. Now, unless you're playing a team that's not very good, then you could probably have 3 or 4 duds and then 5, players out of the 9 do halfway decent or blow up, and you still might have a chance. But, we haven't been getting those big 30, 40, 50-point games as often in years past. And a lot of times you end up getting it from a player that no one's starting, like Taysom Hill, that's sitting on someone's bench, And again, you just never know when that big 40, 45, 50-point game is going to come. But if you're lucky enough to start and get a guy like that, it gives you a better chance to win for sure. Or like Amon-Ra today. 30, 40 points is a big number. It's like almost doubling up, You get 30 points or more out of 1 spot. That's like, 2 people getting 15. And normally people are happy with 15, But 30 is money. 40, you're jumping up and down. 50, you're like Zini and you already know you won. So. Shotgun set. Burrow, hands off. Chase Brown pumping those legs. First down. Bengals. And they're about to score. Congrats. Hell yeah. And even if I lose to reflect, this is the first time that I've been able to use Cooper Kupp and Christian McCaffrey together. And again, I'm actually being able to be respectable. But again, if you don't have your top tier guys hitting or even playing, it's hard to keep up with the big dogs. Burrow, back in the end zone to Jamar Chase, incomplete. Good defense and coverage by the Chargers. But even if I end up losing, it's not like I'm going to the playoffs, but I am going to try to, win as much as I can and score as much as I can, even though this is kind of, unseen territory for me. I'm usually first, second, or third, and I'm in the playoffs. I've never been, outside of the playoff window. But again, I'm not going to quit. I'm gonna keep battling. I'm going to keep making changes on the wire. And again, I'm going to try to win every single game that I can until the very end. So. Second and goal, shotgun set. Burrow. Flag is down. Back in the end zone, incomplete. I think our records are almost identical, Britt. At least they were a couple weeks ago. Maybe you have a better record than me now. But I am 3-7, but I have a chance against the number one team who's 9-1. I'm at 124, which isn't great, but it's all right, average. And he's at 92. And he's got Mixon and Nico Collins. So if Mixon and Nico Collins, combine for, what? So I'm up by 32. So if I can get both of those guys to score less than 32, like 15 and 15, I might end up winning by 1 or 2 points. But if Mixon goes off for 20 and Nico goes for, 20, I'm fucked. So we'll see how it goes. But I gave my best effort, even though I left some points on the bench. But, I have a chance to possibly, get it done. And Burrow throws it to a lineman. And there's the flag. Yeah, you got a better record than me. Like the best that I can go is 7-7, but that's if I win every single game the rest of the way. Not likely. So I got Reflect, number one team. I got Chief will Chief next week. Then I got Shep, who is like third in the league, and then I got Megan at the end of the season. And Megan's team has gotten very good, like captains at the end of the year. Like with me, captain, and Sarah and Megan, we were kind of at the bottom. But within the last few weeks, I feel that our teams have gotten kind of hot and healthy, and our players have been producing. Finally, it's almost like a little bit too late for me and Megan and a few others, but at least captain's got a chance to maybe make the playoffs. But if we can just try to get as many wins as possible, and it's nice to be able to see your players producing, instead of just losing week in and week out. So hopefully, for a lot of us that are at the bottom, that we can rise a little bit to the top. Third and goal after the penalty. Yeah, definitely tough to, you can root for a quarterback, but then when the quarterback is, someone you're playing in fantasy, nice catch. It's like they can do good, but you don't want them to do like better than you to beat you in fantasy. Like he can still like root for Burrow, have him throw for a couple touchdown passes, but, and then maybe they hand the ball off to Chase Brown. So that way, it's not one of those games. But again, the Charger defense is one of the best in the league. You're not going to see Burrow do what he did to me in fantasy a few weeks ago, where him and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown combined for like 100 fucking points between three of them. So that's not going to happen tonight because the Charger defense is actually legit, not like the Ravens. So I don't think you're going to see Burrow going for 30, 40, 50 points. He might be able to get to 20 tonight, but probably 15 to 19 more than likely. Field goal is up, and it's good. 3-0 Bengals. Yeah, but again, your team is getting hot at the right time, and if you look at me, I made some mistakes, but I might end up beating him. Like I said, I got Mahomes, which I should have went with Goff or Stafford or Darnold, and I've been streaming quarterbacks all year because I fucked up and drafted AR and Dak, and I had to get rid of both of them. But, I probably should have trusted, the green matchup. But again, when you get, shitty results and you're putting up like 5 to 8 points, can I really trust you? And, I got 16 out of Mahomes. 14.6 out of McCaffrey, which was a little lower than I expected. Hunt fucked me with only 6, but Cooper Kupp got me 29. Juwan Jennings, I started over Devontae Adams because I had a feeling that Jennings was going to ball. He did, got me 25. That was a smart move by me. Mark Andrews shit the bed with 4. Tillman shit the bed with 7.7. Detroit D got me 10. Bates got me 12 as kicker. So really, Mark Andrews and Tillman and Kareem Hunt fucked me, but I still might have a chance to beat the number 1 team in the league. And I ended up leaving 19 on the bench with Downs, but it was like a red 1 matchup. Obviously against the Jets with AR, and I didn't know how AR was going to look. Devontae had 13. Shakir had 15. So, most of my guys, ended up producing. I didn't really leave too much on the bench, and then right now he's at Hurts with 18. Kyron had an off day with 8. Debo had an off day and shit the bed for Reflect with 6. But Njoku went off for 19. Montgomery, 2 touchdowns, 25. And then Pittsburgh D got 9 and Bass got 6. So, even if I lose, at least I'm like giving the number 1 team like a battle, And again, if I would have had Cooper Kupp and Christian McCaffrey the whole year, I honestly feel that I would be top 3, top 4 right now. But again, I wasn't able to have my, 2 best players playing, and, that's the difference. If you don't have those top tier guys playing or they're injured, it's hard to keep up with the teams that are at the top of the board. So, but at least I, didn't shit the bed, with a terrible score, and I'm going to try to do my best with what I have. So, all right, take care. All right, I can help you manufacture a lineup. We'll figure it out. But Captain, if you put up 125 to 140, right? Like I said, like I did, you're going to have a chance. And again, I could have had a few more points, especially if I just would have, did the Goff at quarterback or Darnold or Stafford. That would have been maybe the difference. But we'll see how many touchdowns Mixon and Nico Collins go off for tomorrow. And we'll see if I, end up getting lucky and beating him, or if he ends up beating me. I mean, I wouldn't really be shocked either way. So, like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to that number. And again, like I told y'all, you never know when that spike is going to come. And again, the faster that we can get the likes and hit the algorithm. Like, we were just sitting last night, like 20 to 30 people, and then all of a sudden it spiked to like 120 within a matter of like minutes. And then it went from 120 to 200 to 300 to 500 to 700. But that was obviously in the fourth quarter when the Ducks looked like they might lose. And obviously the haters came out to try to root for me to lose. And, it is what it is. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. But as long as the Ducks continue to be great, and hopefully the Mariners can join that group as well, this channel will definitely have opportunities like that where we're going to be able to get, 10 to 15,000 people in the stream. It's not going to happen often, but again, 2 of the 4 biggest live streams that I've ever had since I've started the channel were this year. Oregon versus Boise State, 9,700. And then obviously last night, Oregon versus Wisconsin, 15,500 plus people. So, and as we keep continuing to, go in the season, we got a bye week and then we got Washington, Big Ten Championship. We might be able to replicate that again. Herbert, go, baby, go, baby, go. Go, Justin. Hell yeah. First down. Chargers, bolt up, baby. Let's go. But it looks like Shep's going to beat Matt. Obviously, looks like that Elliott will beat Sarah. Megan is on pace to beat Chief Will Chief. Possibly. And then we got Zini on Oreo. And Oreo, I mean, you had 31 out of Brees and you had 24 out of your kicker. Sometimes it's just bad luck, man. When you end up hitting big numbers like that out of 2 spots. Stand with Ukraine. What's good, bro? But also on her side, she had a 31 out of Bowers. So that definitely kind of, mirrored what you did with Brees Hall. So absolutely good games today. How are you? 3-0 Bengals. Yeah, I feel this one's going to be a little bit lower scoring, but again, we'll get enough offense to keep excited about it, but hopefully it'll end up being like a 24-20 kind of game. I don't know if we're going to get any more than that point-wise because the defenses have been playing pretty good, especially the Chargers. But Bengals look like they're up for the challenge today. There we go. Vlad McConkey, baby. I like him. Flag on the play. First down. Bolts. And he's down. Hopefully he's not hurt. That might be a hold on the offensive line. Bring that one back more than likely. Uh-oh. Hopefully that's not a clavicle or a shoulder separation for Vlad McConkey. That's like one of their top guys for Herbert. Oh, holding on the defense. Wow. Yeah. Pittsburgh's kicker. And obviously, if you have Tucker, you should drop him. He's like bottom 3 in the NFL this year. You can find a better backup than Boswell, but Boswell's like top 2 now after the performance today, number 1. So that was a fantastic kicker to have on the roster. And anytime the Steelers and the Ravens play, it always ends up being a field goal party, and it always ends up being lower scoring. So, go back and look at the matchup, regardless of who the quarterbacks are for Pittsburgh and Baltimore. It never is high scoring. Oh, touchdown! Disley! Megan scoring with the Disley. Wow! Oh, my. I remember looking at Megan's Disley choice and thinking, I think there might be a chance, but that is a little risky when you got guys like JSN and a few others on the bench that you could have put in the flex or the tight end. And there he is. Sometimes, tight ends, find their mark. Little go route. Safety couldn't get over the top. Herbert with a fucking dime to Will Disley. Touchdown. Chargers. Both up. Extra point is up. And good. The Chargers are a team that could actually beat, the Chiefs and some of the others. Like I said, the Chargers and the Steelers, you got to keep an eye on those two teams. And again, we know the Bills just beat the Chiefs. So that's one team that could give the Chiefs the business, even if we go to the playoffs. But I think the Steelers and the Chargers have a chance because they are defensive-oriented teams. And if Russ plays well and Herbert plays well, hell yeah, they got a chance to upset teams that might be better than them, like the Kansas City Chiefs or even a guy and Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills, even though we know that the Bills' defense is probably the worst out of those 4 teams. Chief defense, pretty good. Charger defense, electric. Steeler defense, electric, right? And again, you just need that offense to catch up. And, it's still going to be the Chiefs as the favored team to make the Super Bowl against the Lions, right? But you never know. You never know what could happen. We could get Chiefs-Lions in the Super Bowl, but we could also get one of those other teams. And, it might be someone other than Kansas City or Detroit. But, again, they're going to have to earn it. And things are a little bit different in the playoffs than they are in the regular season, as you guys know. So. Yeah. And again, it's like, who would have thought, Russ, was a top 3 quarterback for Seattle, right? Then ended up going to Denver, right? And then, kind of being a little ridiculous off the field and a lot of people not really liking him for obvious reasons. Then obviously having that rapport with Cortland Sutton and showing that, he still has something left in the tank. He's not top 3, but he's definitely top 16 quarterback, in the middle, right? And then now going to the perfect team, better quarterback than Justin Fields, and they have a better chance because if you would have kept Justin Fields, you might have still been able to win games, but by not very much. And the defense really has to hold it down with TJ Watt. But with Russ and Pickens, you actually can move the football on offense and score points, and it makes them a little bit more dangerous. You're going to score more points. The defense is more motivated. And if you had Justin Fields, you'd probably go to the playoffs and lose in the first round. With Russell Wilson at quarterback for Pittsburgh, you actually have a chance to win a game or 2 where you might actually be able to overachieve and possibly make the AFC Championship game and go against Kansas City. Same thing with the Chargers. They might actually be able to overachieve and maybe win a couple games, again, but it really starts off with the defense first. But shout out to Russ and with Herbert, finding the right team with the right coach. And sometimes it takes a while to be able to find that right chemistry. Same thing with Baker Mayfield. Sometimes you got to wait to go to your 2nd, 3rd, 4th team, or you got to end up getting your, 3rd coach, after obviously, horrible options with Lynn and Staley. Now you get a Hall of Fame coach, and he turned it around in year number 1. Shows you how good Harbaugh is. first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the greatest coaches of all time in college and in the NFL, like Pete Carroll. And again, most people would have thought Harbaugh would turn it around in 2 to 3 years. I don't think anyone thought they would turn it around in 1 year, and got rid of Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Eckler on top of that. And here we are. Derwin James is better. Khalil Mack is better. Herbert is the biggest X factor that has benefited from Harbaugh, and it's awesome to be able to see, because I have a lot of friends that are Bolts fans, and I kept telling them, Staley ain't it, Lynn ain't it, but once you guys get the right coach, you guys will be better. And I didn't really know if Harbaugh was, going to be an option, but thank God he ended up leaving Michigan, because now they actually are going to be relevant moving forward. And maybe Herbert will stay on the Chargers for the rest of his career because Harbaugh is there, right? That's a good, perfect pairing. Hand off to Chase Brown. Because at some point, I imagine Justin Herbert was probably thinking, fuck, I want to leave this team. Maybe I'll go to another team that actually has good coaching. And, again, he had great supporting cast with Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. But what was the bugaboo? The offensive line and the defense especially, right? And the clock management and the coaching was terrible. One of the worst. So you go from one of the worst coaches to one of the best. Offensive line got better. Defense got better. But again, you're still going to have to fight it out here tonight. 7-3, Bolts. Burrow. T. Higgins. Wow, nice yak yards as he carries 3 Chargers. First down, Cincinnati. Move the chains. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Steelers have the blueprint on how to beat Lamar, and I imagine the Chargers will be able to limit what Lamar does as well. Defense wins games. Defense wins championships. It's always cool to have a great offense, but if your defense can't stop a nosebleed, you're fucked. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big one. You can definitely tell when the coaches and the players feed off of each other. Like the identity of this team, you can tell is Harbaugh. You can kind of feel it within the players. The effort that you're getting on defense, the effort that you're getting on offense. And again, when you play for your coach and you feel like this is a Harbaugh-led team, things have changed dramatically there in Los Angeles. 2nd down and 14 on the Chargers 48. Shotgun set, Burrow. Tanner Hudson with the catch. 9-yard gain to the Charger 35. They didn't want him back. That's why. Again, if they wanted him back, then I think he would have re-signed, but they didn't give an offer, so he left. So... But yeah, I mean, obviously losing McDonald, the defensive coordinator, you've seen that, they're terrible on that side of the ball now when they used to be one of the top 5 defenses in the league. So not only, losing the D coordinator, but losing good pieces. Oh, nice catch. Yeah, it makes you kind of wonder, under the new regime after McDonald left to be the Seahawks coach, obviously if he was still the defensive coordinator, maybe, those players would have, ended up staying and re-signing. But, when people leave, then, interests change, based off the team, the GM, and the head coaches and the coordinators. But obviously we know that the Ravens defense is dog, shit, ass, terrible. 4th down and 1. Timeout by the Bengals. All right, we're at double digits at the likes. That's good. We need 10 more to get to 20. Now we're at 12. 8 more to go to hit the goal. And then hopefully we can hit the algorithm. Let's go. And obviously we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Good game so far. Lots of defense, but we kind of felt it was going to be like that. And I feel like Cincinnati is going to feel pressured to be able to, match the intensity of the Charger defense, even though they don't have the same kind of personnel on that side of the ball. Captain getting it started. Thank you so much, man. It's all about getting that first one out of the way so other people can follow. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $3 holla, 97 to go. Thank you so much. Let me know what you want to do for photos, and I got you. If you got some Seahawk players I can represent for you, let me know. But a huge, huge win for the Hawks against the Niners, man. Like, again, that was the first time that Geno's beat the Niners in his career being Seattle's quarterback. So, and you guys did it on the road. So there's, no excuses whatsoever. It was a close, tough, battle. Obviously, Bosa getting hurt might have been the difference, but who cares? Guys get hurt all the time. And again, there was many chances in that game where you could have kind of blew the game away, and you guys didn't. So happy for you guys, since you guys have gone through some adversity in the last few weeks. So hell yeah, bro. Let's do it. But it also shows you, if you're going against Reflect, Zini, or Shep in fantasy, you got to put the right lineup, and you can't make mistakes and leave points on the bench. You literally have to play the perfect game that week if you want to beat one of the top 3 teams this year. And that's pretty much the standard for every week, no matter who you play, but especially when you play the top 3. Burrow to T. Higgins. There we go. First down, Bengals, and he fumbled. Oh my, fumbled. Pick it up. Go, go, go. The 40, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Chargers. But that might have been blown dead, though. Did that count? And Higgins just came back from the injury. Oh, my. We need a review here. Is that legit? Was his knee down? Did he fumble it? Oh, my. I need to see a replay, please. Let's look here. Knee down, elbow down. And then the ball comes out with the hit from Perryman. Wow, they got lucky there. Oh, my God. I mean, and we're talking about, like a 1 second difference, half second difference. If that hit would have come just about a half second sooner, that would have been a big tutty. And that could have been the difference in the game if we're actually being honest about it. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. And again, that's the first game for T. Higgins, after coming off the injury. So he's already a little beat up. He's not 100% and whatnot. Wow. Maybe that might have been a game-saving replay right there for the Bengals. Let's get some photos up here for Captain. I'm just hoping that the Mariners can mirror the Ducks one day, so that way we can get this channel with bigger opportunities like we had last night. Felt good to have 15,500 people. Felt good to have 700 people in the room. Felt good to gain 30 to 40 subs last night. And it felt really good for the Ducks to fucking win the game at the end, and hopefully we'll end up having more opportunities like that. And again, the Ducks look like they have a chance to be able to win it all this year. So there might be a few more streams like that one last night, I'm hoping. And then obviously we're still, a little bit behind the 8 ball for the Mariners, but I have faith, at some point or another, hopefully that the Ducks can win the Natty, and we can also get the Mariners to win the pennant. I got to see those teams win, before I die. I got to. It's on the bucket list. I need to be able to die a happy man. I got to see my teams win. Blazers won a championship. The Bucks have already won 2. The Kraken are still young in their relatively, early stages of the birth of the Kraken. So I got plenty of time for them, but I want to see the Mariners and I want to see the Ducks, baby. Nice job by Gino, Captain. No flex zone. They know better. Let's go, baby. Way to bring that electricity today, baby. Go Hawks. Bengals got very lucky. End of the first quarter, 7-3 Bolts. Brandon in the building. What's good? How are you, bro? But the only problem was there were so many haters that were in the room. I mean, you're only going to be able to, boot out the ones that say the most crazy shit in the chat, But again, sometimes haters will sub to the channel because they want to see what's going on, right? They love to be able to see teams lose. It's not like we had 700 Duck fans coming in and rooting the team on. A majority of those people were Bama fans, Georgia fans, and just haters. Ohio State fans. And people just trying to be jealous of the fact that Oregon is number one. And then the people are like, well, you guys have 0 championships. Well, guess what? Unless you're Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, LSU, Bama, Georgia, neither do you. Nobody's got fucking natties, because it's Georgia, Bama, Ohio State, fucking Michigan, Clemson, LSU. If you're not one of those 6 teams, guess what? You don't got a fucking natty either. That type of shit talk is so lame, Oh, you guys got 100 uniforms and 0 championships. Well, so do you, except you don't got the fucking uniforms, college football is very one-sided and lopsided. Good defense, incomplete. But maybe this will be the year that, we won't have to hear that anymore and we'll be able to get the chip. But I definitely want Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. They got to beat Indiana, and I want them in the natty. Pass interference, defense. I think that would be the best natty that you could ask for, Oregon and Ohio State, if we can both survive to that point. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely ready for the fucking Mariners. You kidding me? I'm itching. I'm itching for NASCAR, and I'm itching for MLB already. First down and 10. T. Higgins has returned to the game. Shotgun set. Hand off to Chase Brown. Short gain. We're at 3:97 to go. Yeah. Not today, bots. Not today. Only bots I like are Autobots. And we got Texans and Cowboys tomorrow, which should be a blowout, but I don't know if you're going to get anything out of Dallas. Probably not, but at least that we have Nico Collins back and Mixon and CJ Stroud, and hopefully they put on a show to make it fun at least. Third down and 2. See if they end up pounding the rock here, and normally Cincinnati loves pounding the rock often, but this Charger defense is so stout on run defense and pass defense. It's going to make Burrow work extremely hard here, even if you got Higgins and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. Burrow, back to the end zone, incomplete. Good defense there by the Bolts. Field goal attempt coming out. And again, how often are you going to be able to hold the Bengals to 2 field goals? It's like Wisconsin holding Oregon to 2 field goals in the first quarter yesterday. We scored touchdowns. It's not about Atticus Sappington. Joe Burrow throws touchdowns, right? But it shows you if you end up having field goals, the defense is definitely doing the job. Field goals up and good. 7-6 Chargers. Here we go. Three wins in a row for the Blazers, baby. Shaden Sharp and Klingon.
so it's not clear.
Yeah, hopefully he comes back in. What is it saying on the injury report? That he's got separated shoulder or a broken clavicle? What's going on with him? Hopefully he'll be back. He only has 3 points, 1 reception for 20 yards. He doesn't have an injury designation, so I think he's okay. Because anytime a guy gets hurt in fantasy, they usually have the designation immediately, on there. So I don't see it. So I think they probably gave him some treatment, probably put some numbing cream or whatnot, maybe gave him a shot, got the trainers to kind of, test it and whatnot. So I assume that he'll be back. And there is a high probability of Ladd getting in the end zone today, as long as he can play. So. And again, you can't fault yourself for not playing Jerry Jeudy. 6 receptions, 142 yards, 26 points. Those points should have went to Tillman, the guy that I had on my team. But Jeudy ended up getting the looks instead, and I paid the price for it. But again, it's not like you were ever, thinking to start a guy like that. You just never really know what you're going to get, from Jameis Winston. So. Let's go Kraken. I got it on too. Hold up. I gotta adjust my screens to make sure I got a big enough screen to get all the action in here. The Rangers, baby. All right, here we go. I got it going. Go, baby, go. Hit that sideline. There we go. That's very true. What's good, Steve? Yeah, I mean, even if Dak was playing, they have 0% chance of winning that game. But hopefully, for fantasy purposes and just for entertainment purposes, hopefully, it's one of the first weeks that we don't have 2 games to choose from. And honestly, I kind of wish that we did, because the matchup, obviously one fun team, the Texans, and then a team that no one gives a shit about in the Cowboys, Herbert, wide open. First down, Bolts, move the chains. And we got 0-0 here with the Rangers and the Kraken I got on as well. Let's go, baby. Double dipping. I'm going to turn down the music a little bit here since I got the TV in the background. I don't think anyone will mind that. Herbert. There we go. Wow. Threading the needle. Disley again. Move the chains. Wow. Yeah, well, they should have got rid of McCarthy years ago. They've made stupid decision after stupid decision, year in and year out. And again, most Cowboy fans are fans from the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, not necessarily from what they've done since then. I mean, really the only good team that they had, the last great team they had was in 95. So, it's been a long time from them. And a lot of people kind of hung on, to that glory, that they had, back in the day. But again, if you got an owner like Jerry, terrible, one of the worst, if not the worst, right? Only caring about money and not improving the team, giving too much money to Dak, having Zeke start too long, wasting those 3 all-pro Pro Bowl linemen and not getting anything out of it. They've had some good pieces like DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons, but you can't have 3 or 4 good players on defense and have the rest, shit the bed. So I don't really think that they're ever going to be good. Touchdown, Chargers. Justin Herbert with a fucking dime. Let's go. Quentin Johnston. Woo! Woo! Let's go. Oh, my. Justin Herbert, I'm telling you, he looks so much better with Harbaugh in this offense. Again, you got to have the right coach, the right play caller. No Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams, no Eckler, no fucking problem. Who lost more on offense, right, and had more to gain by gaining Harbaugh? Nobody. Impressive as hell, man. No other team could lose their starting running back and their first two starting wide receivers, right, and have this type of success like Justin Herbert and Harbaugh are having. Amazing. McConkey might be out for the game. Matt does, I believe. Him and Bo Nix, I believe. Let's take a quick peek. I know everyone's roster, so yeah. So Herbert's at 14.92, but Nix put up 28.78. So obviously a decent decision there. 0-0 Rangers and Kraken. 14-6 Chargers. Nice job, Herbert. I love it. And it's nice to be able to see, Oregon Duck quarterbacks. Because like in the past, Ohio State and Oregon, would always get picked on. Yeah, your guys' teams are good, but your quarterbacks never pan out in the NFL. And Justin Fields didn't really pan out, but CJ Stroud did. And now we have Herbert and Bo Nix now that have panned out. And it feels good, to be actually able to grab a guy. Now, with Dylan Gabriel, he's not going to be like Herbert or Bo Nix, but he might be able to be good enough to hopefully win the Natty for us. So let's go. 100%. But like I said, you have less offensive weapons, but sometimes it's addition by subtraction. You get rid of Eckler, you get rid of Mike Williams, you get rid of Keenan Allen. All those guys are kind of old, right? You bring in Harbaugh, the defense gets motivated, they play harder, offensive line plays better, and then the rest of the pieces that you have, Gus the Bus, Lad McConkey, the rookie, Quentin Johnston, all those guys are stepping up, and it's just nice to be able to see, from a team that normally, would be kind of under the radar. They have a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, but they always would shit the bed, right, in the playoffs or at the end of the year in December, right? And they just couldn't get it done because they had bad coaching and bad play and clock management. But now, things have turned around with Harbaugh. I legitimately think the Chargers are one of those kind of sleeper teams with the Steelers, obviously, that could match up against teams like the Bills and the Chiefs and possibly win. I think the Chargers are playing good ball. Steelers are playing good ball. And again, yeah, you got the Ravens with Lamar, who might win MVP. You got the Chiefs with Mahomes, who's, on and off. Josh Allen on the Bills. But let's not sleep on the Steelers and Chargers. This is the deepest the AFC has ever been in a long, long time. And again, what's the difference, between the Steelers and the Chargers compared to the Bills and the Ravens and the Chiefs? The Bills don't really have a defense. The Ravens don't have a defense. The Chiefs do, right? But again, you feel like you can still score on them. It's going to be very interesting as we get into December and the playoff push. All right, Bengals, your turn. This is the first time that you actually hear the Charger crowd in LA actually like cheering. And normally it's like a road game, for the Chargers because they have fans from the other team that occupy the building. Not so much anymore with Harbaugh being there. The Harbaugh effect is real. Pass incomplete to Gesicki. 2nd down and 10. I would like to see Justin Herbert in the Super Bowl at least once before he retires, regardless if he's on the Chargers or any other team. And of course, I know if he gets there, they probably would lose the first time that he would get there, or maybe the only time they would get there, kind of like Joe Burrow when they lost. But Sometimes you go and you lose, you don't get back, but it would be awesome to be able to see Justin Herbert win one. But if he can't win one, at least get to a Super Bowl for his legacy would be great. Yeah, Rams are starting to play some pretty good ball, for the most part. So that one will be pretty good. I mean, especially with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, all, being healthy, playing with Stafford. The Rams with no Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, terrible. With those two top 10 receivers, they can hang with almost anybody. At least for a few quarters. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, my. TT with the sack. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, not a good kick there. All right, Chargers, your turn.
Khalil Mack told me that Thule came out of his shell this year by playing shuffleboard, of all things, at the Chargers facility, going from yes, sir, no, sir, to straight trash talk. Thule even told Khalil, I finally feel like I can talk to you. And Khalil said now Thule asks all kinds of questions. Every game, he applies that knowledge and learns from it, and Khalil Adams see growth every day. Now the sacks are coming, and I'm just so proud of him.
Last 4 games, Melissa, that is now 7 sacks. It should be a sack.
Yes, I can't wait for the Harbaugh. That's going to be phenomenal. Where's the game being played? In Los Angeles or in Baltimore? Because obviously, if it's in Baltimore, that would probably give the Ravens the only chance to win. Because if the game was in L.A., you would assume that the Chargers would win at home. And the Chargers are good enough to win on the road. I don't think the Ravens could, but I think the Chargers could win in Baltimore, but I don't think the Ravens could win in LA, though. Not with that shitty defense. Yeah, I watched that game. First fumble and like over 500 carries. It happens. That rivalry. Go, baby, go. Go, Justin. Look at the wheels. Look at the wheels. Hot Wheels. First down, Chargers. And you can see now Herbert, right? He's smarter with the football. He doesn't throw picks. He can use his legs like he did at Oregon. He is a true triple threat. He's awesome, man. And again, I've been waiting for this type of, Heisman candidate, Justin Herbert, Oregon Duck type of player to be like this. You don't have to throw as many touchdowns. Get the picks at a very low number. He only has 1 for the year, which is incredible, even though the numbers are a little lower. I think it was like 11-1 coming into the game. So it's not like, 30 touchdowns and 15 picks or something like that. So obviously less touchdowns, more running, more defense, less interceptions, less touchdowns, but that's fine. Use your legs a little bit more. Just smart, educated Harbaugh football, baby. Let's go. But really the difference in the game when we have Harbaugh versus Harbaugh, Gus the Bus, and the rest of the squad is going to have to step up, having to be able to shut down Henry and Zay and the rest. I mean, not many teams can do it, but if you got Pittsburgh's defense or the Chargers defense, oh yeah, you definitely have a shot to do that. It's in LA. Oh shit. Yeah. And especially if they win here tonight, that would be, and then again, people are going to start talking a little bit more about the Chargers and maybe a little bit less about the Ravens and Lamar being MVP. I mean, obviously the Ravens, we know, have a lot of talent on offense, but if they can, implement the same type of strategies that Pittsburgh did with TJ Watt, yeah, the Chargers could definitely win this game today and against the Ravens next week. Oregon quarterbacks can run, baby. Herbert, obviously is a little bit taller than Nix. Nix is more of like a Baker Mayfield, right? Where he's going to be kind of shifty and smaller and, use, obviously his vision and his agility. Herbert is kind of like a gazelle. He's a little bit taller, but he has a lot of speed for being a tall quarterback. Handoff up the gut. Chargers are about to score again. McConkey back out there. Again, don't be surprised if McConkey gets a touchdown here or in the second half. That's one of Herbert's main targets. I mean, I usually try to watch them play every week, so. Rangers and Kraken still knotted up at 0 here in the first period. I got that on as well. Yeah, I don't know. If you get extremely lucky, you might be able to get 2 out of McConkey, 1 here and 1 in the second half. But again, they have so many options to go to. You know, it's not your prototypical normal offense here. Herbert, play action, floater, incomplete. Because with this type of Harbaugh offense, Herbert is more of a threat with his legs. And again, flag on the play. There we go. Late hit, personal foul. Yeah, Bengals lost this game. They're done. You know, and again, I wish that when I played Zini, I had a matchup like this, you know, instead of like having, you know, them going against a team that has no defense and I get absolutely, you know, obliterated. 118 points out of 4 players in fantasy, you know. Burrow and Chase, you know, they still might be able to put up a decent stat line, but they're definitely not going off on this fucking top tier D. I mean, especially with your big number with Brees and with Boswell at kicker. I mean, normally, again, if you end up scoring, you know, almost fucking 25 points out of your kicker, you know, and again, if you can score 30 to 40 with your kicker and defense combined, you normally win most of the time, but you can't shit the bed on some of those other spots. Herbert, fake, line drive, incomplete. Fisk was the intended receiver / tight end. Little scuffle there.
Chargers would have broken most scales in America. Even on the cattle ranch, by the amount of beef they had on the offensive line that last play, they came out with a clearance and pass off them.
Yeah, I watched that whole game. Like I said, I'm always on Red Zone. I'm always watching everyone's players all year. Handoff. Close to the goal line there. Yeah, but I saw every, you know, big throw that he had, you know, the downs. I saw, you know, lowering the shoulder, the truck stick, you know, getting into the end zone. But again, the Jets are kind of a shitty team. So it was a good game, just like he had in week number 1. But can he do it again? That's the thing, you know, and can you do it against a team that actually has a good defense? You know, but I guess we have to just take baby steps because, you know, the team is kind of in shambles with the coach and the GM and the rest of the, you know, kind of overall vibe of the team. But at least you guys got the dub, and so the vibes are a little higher. Handoff. I mean, it's much better than losing to the Jets, right? So 4th and goal. But hopefully we can see a little bit more consistency the rest of the year with AR. And if he ends up playing like that, you're going to have a good chance to win games. But if he plays like any other game in the, you know, earlier in the season, then you're not going to win. You know, he's just going to have too many turnovers and not have enough offensive production to help him win. Because it's not like the defense is going to win the game for you. They'll make plays here and there, but they don't got a Steeler or a Charger defense, you know. Defense is, you know, average, if at best. Some games good, but some games terrible. Yeah, that's tough. I feel bad for anybody that's a Cowboy fan. I don't think I could do it. Harbaugh with luck, right? Harbaugh, a little quarterback whisperer, you know, bringing the best out of you. And it shows you it's not about, you know, who you are, and it's not about personnel. It really is about coaching. Touchdown, J.K. Dobbins. And this one's already over, baby. Let's go. Hell yeah. Bolts, bringing it, baby. And again, this fan base has deserved this. I mean, they've gone through hell where they've been fun to watch offensively, and they've had defensive players, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., but they were just so poorly coached, it didn't matter. But now, you got the right coach in the right situation. You're not wasting Herbert's prime. Thank fucking God. Touchdown, Chargers. And all my Charger buddies are extremely happy right now. And if the Chargers beat the Ravens next week, which they probably have a very good chance of doing. Now, if they still had McDonald and, Queen and some of their defensive guys, then I would say, who knows? But kick is up and good. 21-6 Chargers. Jim Harbaugh was probably the best hire in the NFL for this particular team, probably in the last 15 or 20 years. I don't think I can think of another more influential hire that turned it around in the first year than him, and he's already have a proven track record. Niners, Michigan, everywhere that he's gone, he's had success, right? Won the Natty last year and then came in right away, got rid of. And I think if they kept Eckler and Williams and as well as Keenan Allen, then you'd be like, okay, he turned it around. But I think that the simple fact that they got rid of 3 of the biggest weapons on offense, right, and they are playing that much better without him, really is a statement on Harbaugh and his type of intelligence and skill set, not only with Herbert, but getting the most out of this defense and offensive line. It's impressive. I don't know if you'll ever see anything like this again, out of a coach like this. Very rare. Fantastic hire. And it feels good not to waste Herbert's, prime. Because for a while, if they kept hiring shit-ass coaches like Lynn and Staley, that's exactly what would have happened. Herbert would have been a good player, but never would have gone to an AFC championship, never would have went to a Super Bowl, and probably would be like borderline Hall of Fame type of guy, like a Phillip Rivers. But, now with Harbaugh, they have a chance to be able to make a Super Bowl. They got a chance to make some AFC championship games. And again, they just need to keep improving the running backs and the wide receivers and the tight ends and the offensive line. Keep getting some more defensive gems, and you never know what could happen. But they're bringing the electricity tonight. 21-6, Bolts. That's why you got to start other players, bro. Like Devontae Adams, I didn't start him. He was projected for 16, and I went Juwan Jennings. So sometimes you have to look, at the matchups. And again, Aaron is untrustworthy. So it's like the Jets, are bottom 3 rushing team, even though Breece went off today, and the reason why, that there's value with Wilson and Devontae Adams is because they're a bottom 3 rushing team, even with Breece. So, at some point you might have to fade. You can't really fade Breece because he's one of the top running backs. But with Garrett Wilson, you may have to put him on the bench, and then see if you have another option at receiver, or a running back that you can put in. There's going to be good weeks out of Garrett Wilson, but there's also going to be dud weeks because Aaron Rodgers just can't fucking play. He can't throw, and he doesn't really have a whole lot of time with that O-line. And that's why I decided not to listen to the projection of 16, even though Adams ended up getting 13, but Jennings got me 25, 26, so I made the right choice. But I probably should have put Downs or Adams in for Tillman. I thought Tillman would be able to get me 15 to 30, and Judy got the numbers instead of Tillman, and that kind of fucked me. But yeah, that's what happens in fantasy, right? (21-6) Chargers. Let's see what Joe Burrow can do here. Trips right. Shotgun set. It's a little draw. Chase Brown. 5-yard gain. First down and 10 at the Cincinnati 30. Yeah, and it doesn't matter, who the quarterback is, and let's be honest, Downs is the best receiver on the team. Like, Michael Pittman Jr. is a good receiver, but I think that if you had to choose one guy, I think I'm going Downs, every single snap, and Pittman is a guy that can put up 10, 15, 20, 30 fantasy points, but I just feel like, with his development and his injuries, I think Downs is the best receiver on the team. He's more consistent, and again, he doesn't really drop a whole lot, and he's more of a touchdown threat. So, and I think it's kind of close. I don't think Pittman is a bad receiver, but I think if I had to choose one or the other, I think I would be going as Downs as the one, and then Pittman now is the two. But again, as long as they're getting opportunities, all those guys can end up making plays. I saw Mitchell with the catch, went down to the one, and but I think if you look at Downs, the reason I have him on fantasy is because he's consistent and he doesn't really have that many bad games. I think he's had like one, where he just didn't get enough targets. But if he gets more than 5 targets, Downs is typically good for 10 to 25 points almost every week. So even if the matchup ends up being a red one, if I would have, had that gut feeling that AR was going to play good today, I probably, would have put Downs in even with a red one matchup, but that was just too much red for me, for my liking. But he proved that even in a bad matchup, red one, he can still put up big points. He put up 19 today. 21-6 Chargers. That's why, when you look at the fantasy ranks, green, I'm going to start him. But you can still get big points out of red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matchups. But remember, if you play a guy that has a red 1, it also can end up with like a 0 or like a 2 or a 5. But with Downs, he got enough looks from AR, and he ends up getting enough looks from Flacco as well to make up for the red 1 matchup. 3rd down and 3. Shotgun set. Burrow. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Big sack lunch from the Bolts. Lay down. Lay down over here. Lay down. Lay down, honey. Over here. Lay down. Come here. Lay down. All right, Paisley's in the building now. Ooh, good special teams.
Mike, you were just talking about J.K. Dobbins and all those injuries. He told me a lot of people thought he was going to retire, but he had other plans. He has his eyes set firmly on being the comeback player of the year. And he told me recovering from 4 surgeries in 2 years was difficult mentally, but that his 2-year-old son, Decaden, motivated him to keep pushing, saying, whenever I looked at him, I just knew I couldn't stop. He said, he's my why, and I want to be the best father I could be.
The kid looks at like, oh, those need the sunglasses, the ball.
Handoff. Short gain there by J.K. Dobbins.
Trey Hendrickson on the tackle. Pick up of 3 as we get close to the 2-minute warning. Chargers get it to start the second half here, so they've got a chance to really put the Bengals in a very difficult spot if they continue their success. Not in a rush, just to play in. And we get to the 2-minute
Shotgun set. Herbert. Lad McConkey back out there for you, Captain. There you go. 2-minute warning. 21-6 Chargers. And it shows you, like, we've seen the explosion of Burrow and Chase Brown against a shitty defense like the Ravens. But then now you're seeing when you play a team that's got elite defense, Burrow is, very mid to average. When you play an elite defense, you're not going to be able to do whatever the hell you want, like we saw them against the Ravens a few weeks ago. And again, with Lamar coming into town next week, I don't think that they're going to be able to beat the Chargers. They don't got the defensive personnel. They obviously have offense, with Lamar and with Henry, right? And they have some weapons there with Zay, and Mark Andrews and Likely, but seems like the Chargers are catching fire at the right time. Can't wait for that. And I'm happy that Ladd didn't end up getting injured and left the game, because those are the worst. If you end up having a player get injured, within the first half, unless the guy scores a touchdown and then leaves the game, most of the time, if you end up having a guy get hurt and they leave the game and don't come back, you lose almost 100% of the time. depending on, the rest of your team and how it looked and whatnot. So, but I'm glad he's back, and I think he'll have a good chance to score at some point in this game. So, yeah, I'm watching right now. I got it on one of my screens here with the Rangers and the Kraken. Hopefully we can end up getting the dub here tonight.
See how much you can save. Download the Experian app now.
Coming up for another halftime, some statements were made in the AFC today, and the guys will tell you who they're talking with at the end of the play.
That's been a good card move. They're running a lot of options here.
21-6 Chargers.
The first time, Buffalo 9-2. Look forward to seeing the Bills the Sunday after Thanksgiving, hosting San Francisco. Fun night, early December in Orchard Park. Not a lot of fun for Joe Burrow and the Bengals right now. 21-6, they are down. Defense needs to come up with a stop. First and 10 for Herbert for the 35.
Herbert. Joshua Palmer with the reception.
So they're trying to get to their best players on the field. They're trying to get to Mike Hill, blitzing off the end here with Henderson. So they put everybody on the defensive left side to try and draw the attention, and then the Chargers just execute that.
Shotgun set. Good protection for Herbert. Plenty of time. Throwing it out of bounds. Incomplete. Let's go, J. Herb. Shotgun set. Little draw. J.K. Dobbins with the 2-yard gain. Pratt with the tackle. 3rd down and 8 on the Charger 48. And again, obviously, this one feels like it's kind of over already, but hopefully the Bengals can get something going in the second half where we can see Burrow and Chase and connect at least once. And then hopefully Chase Brown will be able to get into the end zone maybe to make the game a little bit closer. But when you got elite defense, it's very difficult to be able to move the football. And again, Harbaugh definitely needs to get Coach of the Year. Out of all the different coaches, he's got my vote. Shotgun set. Herbert, run, baby, run. Look at Justin go. Hell yeah. First down, Chargers. Let's go. That's my boy. Damn right they're going, uh-oh. Yeah, Ravens are worried. Like I said, Chiefs, whether they want to admit it or not, there's going to be a Bills. Like I said, we got 5 teams, with the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens, and then the sleepers, the Chargers and the Steelers. And who's to say that the Chargers and Steelers aren't on the same level as those other teams? Chargers and Steelers defense is better than what the Bills have, better than what the Ravens have, because they have no defense. The only team that has something similar is the Chiefs, right? Chief defense is solid, but I think I would probably take the Charger defense or the Steeler defense this year. They're all really well, but it'll be very interesting. Shotgun set. Chargers. Herbert. Lad McConkey slips, and there's a flag on the play. Chiefs Steelers on Christmas. I think I asked you that yesterday. So obviously we have the Packers playing. Here, I'm going to look at the is it the late game? I'm going to look ahead right now too. So we got Bears Lions in the morning. That will be a blowout. Giants Cowboys, barf, and then Dolphins Packers will be pretty good. Wow, what a throw. Herbert looks like an MVP out there. First down, Chargers. Disley. And Christmas is what? Chiefs Steelers at 10 a.m. and then Ravens Texans at 1:30. There's only 2 games. Is that right? And why is the Chiefs Steelers on at 10 a.m.? Why don't they move that game to 5 p.m.? So that way, after everyone's doing gifts, that we can end up watching that game together. That would be the smart move. Why have it on at 10 a.m. on Netflix? Hell, Ravens and Texans is on Netflix also. No late game on Christmas? Boo. Herbert. And then on Thursday, you got Seahawks Bears. I assume Christmas is on the regular time, right? But Chiefs Steelers needs to be moved. Have the Ravens and Texans on first at 1:30. Then after that, move Chiefs Steelers to 5. So that way, after everyone's doing gifts, we can hang out and watch. That's what we normally do. And that would be an amazing game to be able to watch. And then the next night, we have Seahawks Bears. Not really the same type of vibe as, the other matchups, but pass in the back of the end zone, incomplete. Well, Netflix is, they're trying to get into the bidding war, and pretty soon we're going to have a game on Hulu, a game on Disney Plus, a game on Amazon Prime, even though we already have that. Like every single, thing is going to be, whoever's the highest bidder. Disney Plus gets one, maybe Paramount Plus gets one, Netflix gets one. And I don't know, you're not going to have as many eyeballs as, Paul and Tyson. So hopefully we're not going to have the lag problem. But can you imagine, right when the play is about to, score, then it lags. People are going to lose their shit, and we'll find out how Monday Night Raw works out in January. But we'll see if Netflix and their servers, if they can handle a wide eye audience, watching games. And if they can't, they better spend some more money on some better servers. Otherwise, they're going to have a lot of people complaining. Kick is up, and it's good. It's halftime, baby. 24-6 Chargers. Yeah, Raw on Netflix will be nice. And there won't be that many eyeballs. Again, there's going to be some more eyeballs because it's just on Netflix, but it won't be the same amount like it was with, obviously Tyson and Paul. That was millions and millions and millions of people for that to crash. On a Monday Night Raw, you're going to have, probably, a couple 100,000 people probably watching, but I don't think it'll affect the servers. At least I hope not. And then even games on Christmas, like, I get it. You have, that matchup with the Steelers and Chiefs, but 10 a.m., like that's a travesty. Like have that game be on at 5. Hopefully they're smart enough to move that game. Otherwise, if they don't, then there's not going to be a stream on Christmas because I'm not going to get home until the afternoon. So Chiefs Steelers at 10, Ravens Texans at 1:30, and I won't be able to do that one either because by the time I get home, it'll probably be, towards the third or fourth quarter of the Ravens Texans. So very unfortunate with the Netflix placement with the games. Like, why can't they wait till next year to do Netflix or do it on a different week or something? That stinks. But at least we get Dolphins, Packers, which is the best game on Thanksgiving. Bears, Lions will be a blowout. Giants, Cowboys, barf. And then that's when people are like relaxing. And then Dolphins, Packers. Don't really give a shit about either one of those teams, but at least it's the best matchup on Thanksgiving. So I guess we'll have a Thanksgiving stream, but we won't have a Christmas stream. But then the day after Christmas, we'll end up having a matchup, which will be Seahawks-Bears. So, and that one actually will probably be pretty close. Hawks on the road, and going against Caleb at home. So I guess we'll have to do that. So, but I won't be able to do that game either because I'm going to be going to the Blazers and the Jazz in the front row. So we won't have a stream on Christmas or the day after because I'll be gone. I just remembered that since I got the front row seats for the Blazer game. So we'll have to wait until, obviously later on in the week to do college football or whatnot. So we're at 3:97 to go.
Over the years in the auto repair business, there has been some serious BS. That is to say, effective service.
Excuse me?
I knew this game could get out of hand, but 24-6, I don't think anyone anticipated that. Yeah, if the Bengals keep playing like this, I mean, you obviously need Ladd McConkey to fucking score in the second half, and you need Dowdle to go off as well. But wow, that one is very close. But we still got a second half though, and she's got Burrow, Chase Brown, and Kaimi Fairburn tomorrow. I mean, if the Giants had a Saquon and the Cowboys had Dak, it still is barf, but not as much. But now it's like the Giants, don't really have anything to they have Malik Neighbors, and then the Cowboys have CeeDee Lamb. So you got like two players that are worth watching on the whole team. That's it. That's pretty rough. Nice job by Justin Herbert. Wow, terrible idea to have Netflix on Christmas. But again, I enjoyed a majority of the Tyson Paul festivities on Netflix before all the buffering and whatnot. So.
That the Chiefs can't do it. But the great thing about this week is that we had the top dogs in the AFC going head to head. With the result of the Bills' win, does it change how you feel about the Chiefs and the AFC?
It does not for me. I thought it was an important win for the Bills. They needed that game more than Kansas City did. But I still love the Chiefs. I love the coach. I love the quarterback. I love the defense. They need to find some weapons on offense to take some pressure off of number 15.
That's right. It did change my mind a little bit. I worry about the Chiefs' offense, the weapons lack of there. Right, the defense is not as good as last year, in my opinion. And I think there's more of a supporting cast around Josh Allen to where he didn't have to make magic all day today like we've seen him do before.
Well, I think the thing to remember about this Chiefs team is last year around this time, we weren't talking about Rashee Rice being the answer. So we don't know who the answer is going to be. So for me, I agree with you, Coach.
Hell yeah, Toby. 137. Nice job. I feel bad for you, having to play the Lions this week, but the Lions look like they're, destined to make the Super Bowl this year. Not necessarily. We'll see if they're good enough to maybe win it all. But, a lot of teams get their ass kicked, when they play Detroit. But at least you're doing good in fantasy, my guy. And again, we might get Lions Chiefs, maybe Lions Bills, Lions Steelers, Lions Chargers. I don't think you're going to get Lions Ravens because that Raven defense isn't good enough, but you never know. Nice job, Toby. All right, 24-6 halftime.
The Steelers, they've been getting better and better each week. There's no reason they can't be in this thing, too.
I just love the team the Steelers have built. This is the team that Mike Tomlin wants to coach. This goes back 30, 40, 50 years. This is the Steelers' DNA. Run the ball, play great defense, play action pass. The Russell Wilson thing has been fantastic. They have the Ravens number. We do know that.
Right, that Steelers third for sure. Ravens in the mix. I'm just going to say this too. I'm going to put the Chargers. I don't want to become a meme after the second half, but I have a man crush on the Chargers and the way they play defense. And when Lat McConkey, Quentin Johnson, and Palmer are healthy, there's plenty of weapons to go along with that quarterback. They are made for playoff football. You're putting them above the Ravens. I am. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chargers are definitely above the Ravens. I mean, again, if you got defense like the Chargers or the Steelers, and then the offense looks, relatively close to what you see out of Baltimore, yeah, I mean, you have to go with the teams that are more well-rounded. It's like Buffalo's got a good offense, but they don't got a D. The Ravens got a good offense. They don't got a D. The Chiefs have a good defense for the most part, and then the offense has been a little shaky. And I think right now the Chargers and the Steeler offense has gotten so much better than what we're used to seeing. And then those two defenses are arguably, two of the best in the NFL. So, and again, it's like it's all nice and dandy to be able to have a great quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends like the Ravens. But if you can't stop a nosebleed, you're only going to be able to go so far. You'll be able to beat up the shitty teams, but once you play a team that's got good defense, you're fucked. And that's exactly what we've been able to see. You get exposed when you don't actually have a defense that can stop anybody. Yeah, no Khalil Mack, no problem, huh? But again, it's not necessarily just about the players. It's the coaches. Coaches matter. Head coach, OCs, DCs. If you end up having those proper ones there, it makes all the difference. It's not just about quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, which most people think that's what it is. It really isn't. It's more about O-line, D-line, defense, coaching, and play calling. That's really where it comes down to. And some people realize that and some people don't. Kirk Cousins joining the crew after getting their ass kicked today to the Broncos. Pretty surprising. The Bucs and the Saints fans say thank you. All right, second half about to come up here.
It's that moment that you give when a wish becomes true. Person being seen. They just thought, God forbid, what happens to that one. You would like that. That's good. It's to be seen. It's to be heard. To give the gifts that show you get them.
Welcome to your Walmart.
This is awesome. I know. I bought it using the cash rewards card from Navy Federal Credit Union, and it cashed back on every purchase. Honestly, can't imagine where I'd be without it. One word. Got it. Reeling in fish. Eating fish. Fish in the sea. Movie.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching it on too. I mean, it kind of just depends on, where people are situated, in their house watching the game. Some people are watching on living room, and they have a cable box, boom, watching there. Some people are watching, if they don't have a cable box, maybe they're just watching on the Peacock app and whatnot, or a streaming link. But yeah, I got it on the Peacock on my TV right now as well. And hopefully the Bengals can make it a little bit interesting. They got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Burrow, a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Jamar Chase, a decent running back in Chase Brown. But the defense, they are nowhere near. The Bengals defense at times can stop, a team, but they might not be as bad as the Ravens, but they're nowhere near being on the level of the Chargers or the Steelers or the Chiefs. And it shows. And we'll see if we get a few more people to come through before the game ends. And then we'll be doing the Texans and the Cowboys tomorrow. And then I haven't really looked to see what is going on Tuesday and Wednesday, if we're going to do college hoops, NBA or the NHL. I think I might kind of wait to do the NHL until after the new year, but we got Cavs and Celtics on Tuesday. And the Cavs are 15-0, Celtics 11-3 on TNT. And I saw that the TNT cast is getting picked up by ESPN and ABC. And then the Blazers play the Thunder on Wednesday. Let me look at men's hoops for college, if there's anything worthwhile. Kansas plays, but Kansas plays on Tuesday, so I don't really know what we're going to do on Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's look at the Kraken, see what they got cooking. Kraken, no game on Tuesday. Wednesday, the Kraken play the Preds at 7. So, but I got to do at least one stream on Tuesday and Wednesday, so we can take one day off, and then we're going to do a stream on that other day. So I guess we'll have to figure it out, but maybe do college hoops again, maybe. I don't know. Cole in the building. What's good, Cole? Appreciate your help with Sarah in the mod duties. I know you got a lot of people that were talking shit, obviously, as they entered the room, because anytime your team is number one in the country, you get all those other fans hoping that you lose. And that's fine. We gained like 30, 40 subs. We had like 700 people in the room. We had the biggest stream on this channel that we've ever had, 15,500 plus people. And I appreciate you trying to hold it down, but it's hard to hold it down when you got 700 people in the room and a good chunk of them, typing in a bunch of, gibberish and shit talking. But I appreciated everyone trying to help out the best that we could. And it was a successful, not only stream, but the Ducks ended up winning. So that was a good day for me. Shotgun set. Herbert, what happened to my hands? Pass incomplete. How's work going? How is the other job that you ended up applying for? You have an interview, or have you heard back from the other job? Yeah, almost to 90. I mean, normally if those people weren't such haters, we would have definitely got 100 to 150. But again, a lot of them are not Duck fans or Big Ten supporters. There are a lot of people that are Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, or just fans that are mad that their team isn't number one, and they just wanted to come in there and talk shit, hoping that Wisconsin would win. You know how that goes. That goes for any team that's number one. You get the people that specifically try to go in to cause havoc in a stream. Good defense there by the Bengals, poking it away. Incomplete. Johnston, the intended receiver. Oh, good. Good to hear, bro. Good luck in any type of venture that you do. Yeah. And again, it's like, oh, you guys don't got any championships. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, well, if you're not Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, and then excluding, also, or adding also LSU, Clemson, if you're not one of those 6 teams, guess what? You don't have one either. So for all those people, and again, they're just mad that fucking, Saban left and they're not the number 1 team anymore. Georgia fans are mad too, but that's college football. You're not going to be number 1 forever. And a lot of those Bama fans are bandwagon. They were just bandwagon fans when the team was number 1. And then now that they're not, they don't know what to do with themselves. It's like, you're not going to be able to be on top forever. Now I'm watching the Kraken game right now. Kraken and the Rangers going at it. Yeah, but again, when you end up having 15,000 people and you have 700 people in the room or more, that's what's going to happen. People love seeing people miserable or unhappy. They don't like seeing people happy. People like seeing people in pain or screaming or in agony or sad or frustrated. They love to be able to go in there, People, the country is in bad shape. People just love to be haters. It's not about love and respect. It's about separating each other from one side to another. And it's all about separation and hate and just talking shit. It's just, this younger generation, especially, they don't want to take accountability for their actions. They just want to be able to be a keyboard warrior with no repercussions, Burrow into the turf, incomplete. But it's okay. I'll take the shit talking, as long as we get some subs, out of it and we get some good views. And, that's just going to be, and, as the channel continues to get bigger and bigger, and if the Mariners end up getting good and the Ducks continue to be a top dog, we're going to have streams like that, It'll give us a good opportunity to try to blow up the channel a little bit, Oh, SEC fans hate the Big Ten. And then they also, Big Ten, hate Oregon because we took over the division. Let's be honest. Ohio State is mad as hell because they were the top dog, but they had an easy fucking division. If Oregon had Dan Lanning this whole time, we could be the Ohio State from when they had their guys and Ryan Day. The division is easy. We can only play who's on the schedule. It's not my fault the Big Ten is fucking soft and they have a bunch of shitty teams in the division. It's like the top of the division and some of the middle teams, respectable. But then the lower middle teams and then the bottom teams are terrible. The Pac-12 was way more competitive. But for those fans in the SEC and the Big Ten, they don't believe it because they're not a part of those conferences. They don't realize how good the Pac-12 was and how hard it was to be able to win that division. And even the middle and the bottom teams were good. The middle and bottom teams in the Pac-12 could beat the top team at any given year. Like when Oregon State beat USC when they were ranked number 1, but you're not going to see a bottom feeder like Purdue, beat Ohio State ever, so. But again, SEC fans hate the Big Ten, SEC fans hate Oregon, and Big Ten fans hate Oregon too. But I'm sorry to tell you, we're not going anywhere. And as long as Dan Lanning is there, we're going to be at the top of the division with Ohio State for years to come. And then when Michigan gets a better coach, they'll join the party. Penn State is at the top, but they're not as good as Ohio State and Oregon. They'll be up there as like the 3rd best team like they were when it was Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. But Penn State is never going to be good enough to win a natty, at least not yet. They have some good players, but they don't have enough to be able to typically beat a Michigan, when they had Harbaugh, Ohio State, and now Oregon. So, it is what it is. And then hopefully Washington and USC and UCLA can get better, and then we can have a few more teams from the Pac-12 at the top of the board. So. Yeah, like I said, I got to decide if we're going to do a Tuesday stream or a Wednesday stream. I'll take one day off. Preferably, I don't like taking any days off. I mean, when I did Mariners, we had a point where I did a stream every day for like 3 months straight, because there was a game on every fucking day, which I kind of like. I like being busy. I don't like taking days off. But I obviously know I need to have a day to be able to, for my mental health, spend a little bit more time with Paisley, catch up on some shows, punt to the Chargers. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. Nice return. Yeah, the only thing is I'm a little weary doing Kraken because in the past we would normally do the Kraken after football was over, and then we could get some decent results. But the couple times that we've tried, the results really haven't been good. So like we got more views doing college basketball with Duke and Kentucky than we did with Kraken. So like if I can end up, unfortunately. Like you like the Kraken, Cole. Megan likes the Kraken. I like the Kraken, but that's about it. We don't really have anyone else that, comes through to support, as far as like, Kraken fans and whatnot. So, now if we could end up, hitting the goal on the donos, even if we had like less people in the room, then it would be worth it. But again, if we're not going to be hitting the views or the subs, and then we're not getting the donos, and then there's only a couple people in the room, I got to be able to think of an alternative to be able to do, so. Well, yeah, and 4 of the 5 best teams are in the Big Ten. So you got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got Indiana, you got Penn State. And SEC fans, they don't know what to do. And you got to think Harbaugh left to the Chargers, so Michigan isn't good anymore, right? And then you had Saban leave Alabama, so you're not going to recruit with DeBoer the same kind of way. So instead of having 50 NFL players on Bama, 50 NFL players on Georgia, and then even Ohio State and Michigan when they were good, maybe they only had 10 to 15. That was the reason why they were so dominant, because everyone else only had, 1 or 2 NFL players. They had 50. Or if you were Ohio State, maybe you had 15. But when you have 15 NFL players going against a team that's got 50, you're not going to be able to typically win a natty. And that's why Ohio State, usually hasn't been winning natties against Georgia or Bama, because they have more NFL players there. But now, with the NIL, right, with Saban and Harbaugh out, right, and no loyalty out of coaches and with players, and just jumping ship, like it's a little bit more even in college football. That is why Bama and Georgia fans are mad, because they had a huge advantage over everyone else, including Ohio State and Michigan and LSU and Clemson and any of those other teams. Now, instead of it being Bama, Georgia, and everyone else, now it's all even. And it frustrates the hell out of those fan bases, and that's why they come in and talk shit. So, all right, hold on, Paisley. You don't mind the Kraken? Yeah. Nick in the building. What's good? Chargers kicking ass, taking names, man. Chargers and Ducks, baby. Let's go. And again, like I said, this is the first time that I can say with confidence, we normally have been like, Bills or Chiefs, but and then obviously we know the Ravens are typically good, but now losing McDonald and that defense, the Ravens are not going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon, unless that defense improves and they get a defensive coordinator to rebuild that Raven defense to what we used to remember it being, dominant, right? But I really like this Charger team, and I really like the Steelers this year as well. Yeah, well, you're going against one of the best, run defense, pass defensive teams in the NFL. And the same thing would happen if the Bengals were playing the Steelers as well. It's like you got TJ Watt and company. Like, again, we know the Chief defense is good, but the Charger defense and the Steeler defense I think is kind of better this year. The Chief defense plays in spurts, and they can have pretty good run D, but they don't really pick off passes as much, I think, as like maybe the Chargers and the Steelers. I mean, they're all equally good, but I think right now Charger D and Pittsburgh D are just as impressive, if not slightly more impressive than the Chiefs. Chief defense is still pretty good, but not as good as last year's. No L'Jarius Sneed, and that's been a little bit of a difference, I feel. Yeah, and I told you, Cole. What did I tell you? Remember? I told you, without having Joe Mixon there, Jesse Bates III not there, those guys are irreplaceable. And once those guys left, the team isn't the same. Now, Chase Brown, I'll give him this. Him and Zach Moss did decent, but again, even putting them together isn't Joe Mixon, unfortunately. And then T. Higgins is not going to be on the team next year, and that's another piece that's not going to be there. Boyd is gone. Higgins will be gone next year. So, again, it's like they need more defensive players. And, they just can't do it with just Burrow and Chase. That's just not good enough, unfortunately. And again, I've been watching football since 85, roughly. So, I don't have any bias. I just call it how I see it. So, but hopefully the Bengals will end up getting a little bit better. You were high on the hopium, yeah. But again, you have to respect, someone that watches, every team as if they were their own. I don't just make statements just to hear myself talk. I say things based on watching the film and breaking down the teams as if that team was my favorite team. No bias whatsoever, And again, a lot of teams that end up going to the Super Bowl and losing, they don't go back. And again, Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Will we see them back in one? I hope so, but it's very possible that we never see the Bengals in a Super Bowl again. It's just very difficult to get back because once that team gets blown up, you can't afford every single player once you go to a Super Bowl. And that's kind of what happened. Anytime you go to a Super Bowl and you lose, the team typically gets blown up, just like when you go to a Super Bowl and you win. You're not able to retain every single person, unfortunately. 3rd down and 6. Shotgun set for Herbert. Floater. Got a man. Oh! Almost picked off. Incomplete. I mean, at this point, the most that the Bengals, I think, could get is 20, but I don't even know if they're able to do that based on how good the Chargers are playing. I mean, they might be able to get a garbage touchdown late in the 4th quarter or maybe sometime here in the 3rd, but shows you, man, defense wins games, defense wins championships. And again, just a couple weeks ago, we saw the Bengals with, Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Chase Brown put up almost 100 points in fantasy with those 3 guys, right? Not so much today. Kick is up and good. 27-6 Chargers. About to improve to 7-3 and be one of the sleeper teams this year. Nice job, J. Herb. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. See how many more likes we need to be able to get to 20. Hopefully we can get to at least 20. There's been a few streams where we fell just a couple likes short, like 17. But what are we at right now? We're at 14. We need 6 more. Now we need. Now we're at 15. Thank you so much. 5 more to go with limited people in the room, and hopefully we'll get a few more people in the 4th quarter to show up and just say hello, and they can smash that like button and get us there. Let's go, baby. I'm gonna get Paisley a snack here. I'll be right back.
I'm a little nervous increase for the first time. See the steering wheel moving. What you mean? Oh wow. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. This is very nice. Yeah, it was failed for 20 years. I always wondered why did a failed goalposts look like 2 crispy golden fries? Bernard, come on. Nobody's using goalposts to make you hungry for French fries.
All right. Paisley is snugging on the couch. Oh, man, water is so good when it's like just slightly frozen, ice cold. Man, 27-6 Chargers. And this could be a similar score that we see tomorrow with the Texans and the Cowboys, but hopefully the Cowboys will bring some kind of effort. That's my vote. If I had a vote, I would say Jim is the coach of the year because, again, you lost Eckler, you lost, Mike Williams, you lost Keenan Allen. I've never, ever seen a coach come into a team that lost the 3 main weapons, 2 wide receivers, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, RB1, right? And then end up being this dominant and changing the culture. Harbaugh 100% deserves to win coach of the year because, again, the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. And again, they might be able to win a game or two and end up beating a team like the Ravens, or one of these teams that's floating around. I feel like the Chargers and Steelers are very deadly right now. And I feel like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, any other team that ends up making the playoffs, the Texans, be careful, because if you match up against the Chargers or the Steelers, you have a chance to lose, like legitimately. Yeah, but 100%. Yeah, but you can't say that, with Dan Quinn, he's done a good job, right? But look at the effort, and the skill that has been put forth. Like Herbert looks like a totally different quarterback this year, right? Interceptions, he only has one all year. Okay, this is a Harbaugh-built team. Like I said, it's not like Washington lost a bunch of pieces and then Dan Quinn came in there. And Dan has done a good job as well. But I don't think that, if we had to do a pecking order, I would say Dan Quinn is up there in the top 3. But I think that Jim 100% deserves the award. There's no one that's done a better job with less than Harbaugh. Going long, going deep, and complete. Like the defense is playing better. And remember, the defense really is almost the same as it was with Staley as well as with Lynn. But now you're actually getting, discipline, less penalties. They're playing for each other, right? And they're actually being more productive as, not just names on paper. Well, they look good on paper, but then they choke with clock management and with play management. But now they're on point. And I don't think, Dan Quinn is good, but Jim Harbaugh is better. It's no doubt, 100% Harbaugh will win the award for Coach of the Year. Flag on the play. Yeah, Tomlin will be in the running. I mean, Dan Quinn obviously done a great job. Campbell, but again, they were already good last year. But you just got to look at this Charger team. And normally, we see a team that might go like 10-7. They may make a wild card, or they may barely miss the playoffs and be like 9-8. But I mean, looking at this team that's going to improve to 7-3. Again, the defense is playing like we always thought they could. The offense is better than ever with less weapons. Herbert is more effective. The defense is more effective. I don't know. I think it's, it's pretty clear to me, who the Coach of the Year is. But again, all those guys will be in the running for it. But no one has been more impressive to changing the culture more than Harbaugh. And then after that, I would say probably Dan Quinn, changing the culture as well. And it obviously helps when you have Jaden Daniels too, though. So. Yeah, but also, if you're Dan Campbell, it's like you got Goff, you got Amon-Ra, you got Montgomery, you got Gibbs, you got a defense. Like, I mean, the pieces are already there. So it's like the Lions should be good. I don't think anyone anticipated the Chargers being good in year one with Harbaugh. So that's the difference. You already have all the talent in the world, and you already got recognized last year. Pass over the top and complete. Like the Lions, are a great team, but we already knew they were going to be a great team this year. We already saw the growth of them last year, right? Almost made the Super Bowl. So. Like the culture has already been built in Detroit. But obviously Dan Quinn is trying to change the culture in a place that never had culture. Chargers never had culture, and now they do. So I think that's why you have to put those two guys above Dan. Dan is a good coach, but I think this year there's been guys that have done more, more with less. But Tomlin has done pretty good as well. Obviously, him being educated and smart, making the decision to get rid of Justin Fields, wow, he deflected it right into his hands. Unbelievable. Nice catch by T. Higgins. Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's more of like a Russell Wilson thing than more of a Mike Tomlin thing, personally, And then obviously Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels, it's equally, they both get love, for the turnaround of the team. But with Harbaugh, I mean, it's him, man. You know, like I said, now it's like if he can keep building this team, like they might actually be able to make a Super Bowl while he's there or an AFC championship game. You never would have said that if it was Staley or Lynn. That's the difference to me. So. Burrow, incomplete. T. Higgins, the intended receiver, flag on the play. But all those ones that you guys suggested would be, you know, good ones for sure. Yeah, but I think if I was going to do my voting, I think I would go Harbaugh 1, and then I'd go Quinn 2. If I was going to, you know, put votes in, that's where I would do it. Changing the culture in places that had no culture. And both of them are going to be in the playoffs this year. And surprising. Nice tackle.
Shooting the game through here, bouncing, diving,
27-6 Chargers. Less than 7 minutes to go in the third. A few more likes to be able to hit the goal. I think we're at 3:97 to go. Hopefully we'll get some people to come through to show some love. Shotgun set. Burrow steps up in the pocket. Has to go to the screen pass. Gesicki, nothing there. Or that Sample. -4 yards to Sample. And again, you know, when Burrow's going against the Ravens, I mean, he can sit back there for 5 to 10 seconds. When you're playing the Chargers, you don't got fucking any time. Bowers had himself a career day. Raiders. Most catches out of a tight end in his rookie year in NFL history. Hopefully the Raiders don't do what the Lions did with Laporta this year, where he ends up breaking all these records and then they don't get him the ball next year. But I highly doubt that'll happen. Shotgun set. Burrow. Good protection. Big hit. Wow. Chase Brown got knocked into tomorrow. My goodness. 4th and goal. Yeah. I mean, especially when you got guys like Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr. About time that they lived up to the reputation of being good on paper, but just not being able to do it in the games. Now you're good on paper, and now you're even better than even expected. It's about damn time with that type of talent. Instead of underachieving, you're overachieving. About damn time. Shotgun set, 4th down, 4th and goal. Touchdown! Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, finally. And we got a player down. You might be able to, slow them down, but you typically aren't going to be able to stop those guys from getting connected at least once. Nice job, Bengals. Finally getting on the board to at least make it kind of interesting. That's too blurry for me. I got to find better ones. There we go.
It's time to shop. Get this 50-inch Hisense TV for $138. This Fisher Price Toggle toy for just $5, and so many more deals you desire. Shop Walmart Black Friday deals now through 17.
I'm giving you the throwback. My goodness. The best offense, maybe in college football history, that LSU team. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, even though Clyde Edwards-Helaire has got some PTSD and hasn't really been the player that I think some people thought he was going to be. But again, you got 2 of the top 5 wide receivers or 2 of the top 3 wide receivers and one of the, top 10 quarterbacks in the league, probably top 5, top 6. Pretty impressive. Who's your favorite player? You like old school guys like Howie Long, Bo Jackson, or is it more, current roster guys? Who are the guys on the Raiders? Max Crosby obviously has got to be one of your favorites. I mean, that's like the best player on the team. He's kind of like the modern day Howie Long for the Raiders. And Brock Bowers is badass. So. That's cool. Sometimes you get it passed down, by family and whatnot. Like for me, it's a little different. Like I've been, a Blazer fan, since I was about 5. Mariner fan since I was about 5. Duck fan, around that time period, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. But the last team that I chose was the Bucks, just because I didn't want to hop on the 49er bandwagon with the Super Bowls in the 80s. And the one, it was Steve Young in 94 with Dion when I was 12. So I waited until I was 13 before I claimed my NFL team. And then obviously Kraken within the last couple years because I didn't want to hop on the Gretzky or Mario Lemieux bandwagon. And so it took me a while to choose a hockey team, but when Seattle got one, that was an easy choice for me with the Kraken. But the last team that I was able to choose other than the Kraken was the Bucks, because of Florida Gator football, Danny Werfel, Ike Hilliard, Jaquez Green, Rydell Anthony, but really Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks getting drafted in 95. Now, if the Seahawks and Niners, like I mentioned before, had defensive players in the mid-90s, I probably would have ended up being a Seahawk or Niner fan, but I didn't want to, hop on the Niner legacy and be a bandwagon fan, and I had a feeling that they were never going to win again, and I was right. They could get to the Super Bowl, but unless they had Joe Montana or Steve Young talent at quarterback, it wasn't going to happen, and I was right. And I'm more of a defensive-oriented kind of fan anyways. So, Sapp and Brooks, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, that's my type of personality, as well as like Mike Allstott on offense. So, sometimes you just have to find that connection, if you don't have a team playing in your hometown state. And since I live in Oregon, there's no team here in the NFL. So, but if the Seahawks had defensive players, I would have been a Seahawks fan, but they just didn't have anybody on that level. So, but sometimes that's what happens, man. You just got to find the team that connects to you. But nice that we got this connection here tonight, so it's not embarrassing. 27-13, Chargers.
Like the Cincinnati Bengals went in halftime and said, we have 30 minutes of football.
All right. Herbert, your turn, baby.
We're going to get it this time. We're going to get it. For the Chargers, they went in, you can't help it. They won a second fight. We played a great half.
Bo Jackson, Tim Brown, Charles Woodson, great names. Passing complete. Yeah, but both of these quarterbacks are extremely likable. Burrow and Herbert. Some people aren't really a Mahomes guy or like a Josh Allen guy, but I think that, especially with Harbaugh, there now, Justin Herbert, there's going to be more and more people like, enjoying what he does. And again, they were wasting Herbert's career with Lynn and Staley. Thank fucking God that not only did they get a new coach better than Lynn and Staley, they literally got one of the best of all time. Not only in college but in the NFL. Right, just coming off a natty with Michigan, where Michigan fans never thought they would be able to win it all, but you got Harbaugh, and that was enough to beat Ohio State and to be able to win it all against the Huskies last year, right? And then now he's going to try to be able to get this team to a Super Bowl. And you know what? It wouldn't shock me if it was anybody but Harbaugh. I would say, I don't know, but Harbaugh is proven, like Pete Carroll, that they can do it in college and the NFL, and that's very rare. Having to deal with, young men and grown-ass men. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a Bengal sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Zay in the building. What's good? Big win for the Saints. And obviously, Jameis returning back home. Finally, the Bengals with a stop. Good defense for Cincinnati. Better late than never. Chargers with the punt. And now if the Bengals can score on this particular drive, then we're in business. I think if I was the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, you still want to go to Jamar Chase. You still want to sprinkle in Higgins, right? And then you want to have a hefty sample of Chase Brown. But I'm just saying, if this is me, right, I think you need to start sprinkling in Sample and Gesicki. So because I don't think that they would assume that they would get the ball, specifically Gesicki. So if you go him, that might be the guy that could end up getting the touchdown, because there's going to be a lot of attention on all the other guys. But sometimes you got to go to that like fourth option, when they don't expect you to go there, and then you end up getting the touchdown. Obviously, the guy that's most likely to get it is, Jamar Chase, because he's one of the greatest in the world. I get it, and that might happen later. But for this next touchdown, I think that, if you look at Gesicki, he's open. You might as well go to him, and maybe he's the guy that gets this game to be 27-20. We'll find out. Breeze and Juice McAllister, good names. I mean, shit, I was watching back in the day when it was like Dalton Hilliard, so it all depends, Ricky Jackson, the old school, era and stuff. But again, I might look a little young, but, again, I've been watching since like 85 with sports and wrestling, right when I was around 3-4 years old. So I got to see, the heyday of the best basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and wrestling of all time. And it's never going to be better than it was in the 80s and 90s. It's never going to be NWO ever again. It's never going to be DX ever again. You're not going to see Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky ever again. You're not going to see Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi ever again, right? You're not going to see Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant ever again. Like going through Joe Montana, Barry Sanders, going through that era, just, Ken Griffey Jr. in the steroid era. Like, there's just certain things that, if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm talking about. And I feel kind of bad for people that are younger, because you never got a chance to be able to see the greatest players. There's more top 50 players in basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and also like wrestlers in that time period than any other window. So if you were, if you're 40, you got to live it. If you're just under, you got to see a little bit of it. But if you're in your 20s, you completely missed it, unfortunately. So Megan's like, Largent and Zorn. Even guys like Bo Jackson, I don't think people really realize like how amazing Bo was. You have dual athletes like Bo and Dion, but Dion wasn't the same type of baseball player Bo was. Bo was an all-star in both. Dion was not. Pro Bowler, but not an all-star. He was a good role player for the Atlanta Braves, but he was never good enough to be all-star level like Bo was. 27-13 Chargers. Let's see if the Bengals can get in the end zone. And I assume that we're still knotted up 0-0 here with the Rangers and Kraken. End of the first period. Yusubash, they haven't got him the ball either. That's another guy that they should be looking to. You got to go to someone other than Jamar. It just can't be Jamar. You got to look at your other weapons, especially if they're open. And I also feel like the team, isn't as good without Tyler Boyd either. He was a very solid number 3. Yosavach, he's all right. You know what I mean? But Boyd ended up making some pretty good plays for the Bengals while he was there. And that obviously left more opportunities, for Higgins and Chase when they had Boyd too, because you just never knew where the ball was going. 3rd down and 2. Short left, pass incomplete. Eli Apple with the coverage. 4th down and 2. 1-0 Rangers. Uh-oh. I must have not been paying attention, and they scored when I wasn't looking. Who scored the goal for the Rangers? And who's in net? It's Grew, right? Burrow? Good coverage there by Eli Apple. That might be the only time I say that in NFL history. We normally know Eli Apple gets burnt left and right. Oh, nice. Yeah, Seattle's beautiful. Like, again, if I didn't live here in Oregon, like I said, my number 1 destination would be Seattle. And then Eugene after that, obviously from where I live here. But obviously, living in a college town would have its perks during like football season. But it's like more of a place that I would like to visit rather than live. But I could definitely live in Seattle. That would be my number 1 place if I wasn't living here. That way I could watch Seahawks, even though I'm not a Seahawk fan per se. But I could watch Kraken, I could watch Mariners, and I would go to Seahawk games if I lived there. So, yeah, and obviously we know when Grew is usually on his game, he's only giving up 1 or none. When he gives up 3 or 4 in the first period, then we know we're in trouble. So good to see Grew. Hopefully, we can get the offense to match his effort in net tonight. And hopefully we can end up winning like 3-2 tonight. Eli Apple's on the Chargers now. But we've seen Eli on the Giants, on the Bengals. Eli's been hopping around from team to team. Obviously kind of known for being picked on and, but had at least one good play. Touchdown, T. Higgins. Oh, my. On 4th down and 2. And there you go. Someone other than Jamar. And Burrow connects. Look at that throw. Look at that catch. Wide open. How do you get behind both defensive players there? What a dog. Nice job, Burrow. I see you. We have ourselves a game now. That's what happens when you have a top 5 quarterback. That's exactly what they needed. Even elite defenses can get burned from time to time with top 5 quarterback and a number 1 receiver. At least the game is fun now. It's not like, oh, the game's over. But again, if you didn't have a top 5 quarterback and top 3 receiver, then that doesn't happen. And then you obviously have T. Higgins coming back right at the right time. Nice job, Bengals. There we go. Nice. Well, I don't think Burrow's doing what Zini did to me. Because again, remember, I was down 118-18 with just 4 players playing. Shit, she had a three players for 100. So I don't think it's that bad for you. Jamar Chase isn't at fucking 50 points. It's like, Chase Brown at like 20, Burrow, at like 30, and Jamar Chase at 50. You're not getting hit the same way I did. But like I said, it's hard to be able to beat a team when, those guys are, and it's kind of unusual because typically, when you have a superstar quarterback and receiver and running back, or, decent running back, and your team is 4-6 and they're not a playoff team and they're still playing well in fantasy, it's pretty rare, but again, if you end up having those guys, then it's going to work out for you.
That's ridiculous. And we're designing a whole defensive scheme just to sell.
Buy one pick up Taco Bell only on Uber Eats.
I wanted my car to feel like a car.
Yeah, really the only way that things would have been better for you, Captain, is if you would have dropped Geno or put him on the bench, and then you would have picked up a streaming quarterback like Stafford or, Jared Goff. And I know we've streamed quarterbacks quite a bit because you drafted Mahomes. I drafted AR. We both had to drop guys, and we've had to plug in different quarterbacks throughout the year. But, just only getting that 15 out of Geno, and obviously Garrett Wilson shitting the bed for you, and Kelsey as well. That's not ideal, and your Miami D. But it shows you, it's like you can have a couple guys go off, like Brees with 31 and your kicker with 24 in Boswell, but you just had too many other positions that shit the bed. And that's the problem. You can't have that many guys shit the bed. When you're playing a good team, you can only have like 1 or 2 spots at the most. If you have 3 or 4 shit the bed out of 9, there's no way you're going to win. Even if you do get 2 spots with 50, with Brees and your kicker Boswell, when you're playing a good team like Zini, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough most of the time. So. Yeah. And and again, if Goff and Stafford didn't have bad weeks last week, I would have put them in over Mahomes, but it's like fantasy is about trust with me, and I have a hard time trusting a player when they come off a game with like 4 or 5 interceptions like Goff did against the Texans last week. Yes, I know that they played Jacksonville, but again, Sam Darnold played Jacksonville and then shit the bed last week. So it takes a lot for me to be able to trust a player. And, again, it's been harder to be able to read, players in fantasy this year than any year that I can remember. Bowers with 31. But 12 for her D. Chase Brown with 10. Bowers with 31. Zay with 11. Chase with 16. Harris with 13. Cook with 19. Like, everyone is getting touchdown in those big numbers, And you got to think, Burrow, Chase, and Brown aren't done. And I kind of told her that sequence, like, if you end up tripling up, like when I had David Montgomery, right, Amon-Ra, and Laporta last year, and I would play all 3. And unfortunately, for other people, if those guys are doing well every week, you're not going to be able to keep up. And that's what happened. Like I was able to kind of beat everybody up because I had Montgomery scoring every game, right? I had Laporta, who was like the best tight end last year, and I had Amon-Ra. So again, she's kind of doing the same thing, but she just recently picked up Chase Brown to triple up. She just had Burrow and Chase, which she drafted, but just recently picked up Chase Brown, and now is working with 3 people on the same team out of your 9 spots. Now, when you win, it works, but when you lose and they don't hit, then you lose. But for her, she hasn't been hurt by, going that particular strategy yet. 27-20 Chargers. Herbert going long, going deep, got a man, tipped, incomplete. DJ Turner is down. Almost a tutty there. Got his hand on it too, and off the deflection. Almost got it.
that is 3 different times.
Yeah, again, it's hard to predict, man. Like I said, I usually am like spot on, and I don't really make too many mistakes, but again, I feel like it's harder to read, the players, after having a bad game. Are they going to have an electric game? And it's all about trust. And I feel like it's really hard to trust players this year. And also, this year has had more people score big points in red matchups ever than I can ever remember. Like, you see guys with red 1 putting up 20 points. I've never seen that. Normally when it's a red 1, the guy puts up 5 to 8. But like with Josh Downs, red 1 still put up 19. So sometimes it's hard, to predict, with the boom and the bust percentage, or if it's a red matchup. And I feel like you're able to score on red more than ever this year, but you have to be calculated when you do it. And some red is going to put up a bad number, like a 5 or less. But sometimes if you play a red matchup, you might end up getting a big result. So 27-20 Chargers. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. I assume we're only a few away from getting to 20. All right, we're at 18. We need 2 more. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Now we're at 19, and I know someone's got a backup account. Let's go. 1 more like to get the goal. Let's get there. And we gained a couple subs here tonight also. We gained 2 subs. Gained about 30 to 40 last night. And we ended up having our biggest stream ever on the channel since I've started it. 15,500 plus people last night. 700 plus in the room at one point. And we gained like 30 to 40 subs. Shout out to all of y'all that were in the room last night. And that's probably not the last time that'll happen. Especially if the Ducks keep winning. Oh, Dobbins. Wow. Cutting it back. First down, Chargers. Wow. End of the third quarter. We have a good one here with the Bengals offense finally getting into gear. 27-20 Bolts. Oh, I did not see that. Who is FedEx going to sponsor? And what is Denny Hamlin's main sponsor going to be now? Daredevil in the building. What's good? Your Steelers look pretty good, man. Like I said, I wouldn't be sleeping on the Steelers or the Chargers this year. Harbaugh turned that shit around, and you guys made the right decision of benching Fields and putting in Russ. And again, if you're a Raven fan, if you are a Chief fan or a Bill fan, I would be worried. Because, again, it's up for grabs in the AFC. And this is the deepest the AFC has been in years. No guarantee we get Chiefs Lions in the Super Bowl. Go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Smash that like button for your boy. And shout out to the 2 new subs that we ended up getting here today. Now we only need 29 more, and we're going to be at 20,700. Let's go. Hell yeah. It's a great week for you. Now we just need the Kraken to win to make it all come together. The Blazers won, obviously about an hour and a half ago. So everything's going good. I mean, I might not be able to win in fantasy. I mean, I have a chance against Reflect. It just really depends on how good Mixon and Nico do. But I'm ahead right now. And I made mistakes in my lineup too. And at one point I had Goff and Jonnu Smith, but I released him. And if I had Goff and Jonnu Smith starting, I would have beat him for sure. But, it is what it is. Yeah, O-line, I agree. O-line definitely needs work. That's always been the weakest point of the Steelers. Always. It's been O-line. But at least the offense has improved. And again, Russ can get the ball to Pickens and company and Freiermuth. With Fields, he couldn't. So we'll see how it goes for the Steelers, but I definitely wouldn't be counting them out. The Steelers and the Chargers look like teams that could win a playoff game or two. And I don't know if you would have been able to say that a few months ago. So good to see. Oh, really? Interesting. All right, baby. 27-20, Chargers and Bengals. Let's go. Gained a couple subs. We need one more like to get to 20. Do your boy a solid. You got a backup account. Help your boy out. Let's go. We're almost there. We need one more. And we'll be at 20. We'll get there before the stream ends for sure. And we're at 3, 97 to go to hit the goal. And hopefully we'll get a few people to help out on that end. Rangers 1, Kraken 0. Come on, Kraken. Third period just started. 27-20 Bolts, and then tomorrow we're going to be doing the Cowboys and the Texans. I haven't decided what we're doing on Tuesday and Wednesday. On one of those days, we're going to take a day off, and then one we'll do a stream, and then we got Thursday night football. That should be pretty interesting as well. Go, Herbert, run! Oh, he lost the football. Wow! Bengals with a turnover. We'll see if that knee was down. And then we have Steelers-Browns on Thursday. Yeah, that would be a damn even matchup. Steelers and Chargers in the playoffs, right? Defenses, elite. Offenses have gotten much, much better as of late for both teams. Man, Herbert got fucking popped. Geno Stone with the recovery there. Yeah. First turnover of the game, and now Burrow has Uncle Mo. You know, he might have been gone earlier in the game, but now you can feel the momentum has shifted to Cincinnati, and let's see if they can tie this game up or at least get a field goal to make it really fucking interesting. Because at one point, this was going to be a snooze fest, but the Bengals never let up, thank God. Burrow? Wow, what a catch. Chase Brown, woo! Flag on the play, but that's going to come back due to a hold. Uh-oh, 2-0 Rangers. Uh-oh. Let's go. Should be a hold on the offensive line, you would think, but we'll find out here in a second. Or maybe it's a penalty on the Chargers here. Illegal use of hands. Illegal use of hands. Decline. Uh-oh. Penalty is decline. First down, Bengals. Uncle Mo is, again, you can have momentum for a play. You can have momentum for a quarter. You can have momentum for a half or the whole game. And the momentum has fucking shifted. Ooh, face mask on Burrow. You're going to the Pittsburgh game? Hell yeah. Shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers balling out. But one thing, though, Jacob, the Eastern Conference is dog shit. You only have like 2 or 3 teams out of 15 that are over 500. So you guys are kind of beating up on a bunch of shit, but still to be undefeated with Donovan Mitchell is saying something. But the Western Conference in the NBA is much better than the East. The East is a bunch of dog shit. But still, I'll give you some credit. I don't think anyone anticipated the Cavs being as good as they are this year. So I'll give you that. Shotgun set. Burrow with the halfback draw. Chase Brown. First down, Bengals. Another flag, another flag, another flag. It's a laundry party. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. There's got to be at least one of y'all in the room that hasn't done it yet. We're 1 away from 20. So if you're in the room, we need to hit 20 and then we can hit the algorithm. So if you are in the room, do your boy a solid to get us to 20 and above. All the holdings. Let's keep track of those likes in the dono train as well. Yeah, she got Chase Brown, bro. That's why I was telling you, bro. I was down 118 to 18, even though I got 18 points out of Mark Andrews. You know, she's got Chase Brown, who she just picked up a couple weeks ago. That's everyone else's fault for not, blocking her and having her pick up a triple. And then she drafted Burrow and Chase. And I made the mistake of not doing the same. I should have drafted Burrow and Chase, and I decided to go AR, and I'm an idiot. I thought AR would be good, and obviously he was not. But he played good today, though, so at least you got that going. I tried to draft a team of athletic daredevils. Unfortunately, all the athletic daredevils I drafted all got hurt. AR, McCaffrey, and Cooper Kupp. Can't win when all your guys are injured or not playing. And the way that this game is going, Captain, I don't think you're going to win, bro. You had too many duds in your lineup. But with that being said, I still think you have a chance of getting the last spot. It'll either be you or Elliott. So if you can win, in the last 3 weeks, you're going to have a chance, even if you don't win today. Shotgun set. Burrow. Check down. Sample with the carry. Catch. 3rd down and 4. Well, you already know it too. You don't need to hear me tell you, You know what I'm saying? As long as this game is going with this amount of time, Chase Brown is the #1 running back. He can run and he can catch. Jamar Chase has played like the best receiver in the league this year. And Burrow, it seems like you never can count him out. Even when they're getting their ass kicked like 27-6, right? All of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, now it's 27-20. They got the ball, and they might actually come back and win this game. So, it's just unfortunate when you end up having to go against something like that. And you saw what happened when I went against Zini, right? And now the same thing is starting to happen. So, like the only way that you were going to have a chance to win is that if they would have only scored 6 and then the Chargers kept scoring, then you might have been able to get the dub. But, Burrow is too good. Chase is too good. Brown is too good. And now the Charger defense is starting to get a little bit tired. But at least you're in a position to make the playoffs. I mean, I would trade with you in a heartbeat your record for mine, because again, I'm still trying. I'm not quitting, but, I get everyone's A effort, and no one else in the league has gotten that. I've gotten like the most points scored against me almost out of everyone, and when everyone gives you their A+ effort, whether they're the best in the league or the worst, it's hard to win. When everyone's giving you their goddamn Super Bowl effort, and, every week I have to get everyone's best fucking week, hard to win when that happens, even if you're doing well yourself. I've never had that happen to me either, where everyone ends up having their best week of the year against me every fucking week. It's like, can I get someone shit the bed for once? God damn. Shotgun set, 2nd down and 10. Burrow. End zone. Touchdown, Jamar Chase, and it's over for you, unfortunately. Oh, my. Oh, my. Oh, my. And that's what happens when you got, the best of the best. They might start slow, but they fucking finish. My goodness. Unbelievable. And it's the first time that we've been able to see a team that's not very good, 4-6, play like this. Because normally in fantasy, teams that are bad don't do this. But again, most teams don't have Burrow, Chase, and Chase Brown. Wow, wow, wow. Extra point is up and good, and now we have a game. Unbelievable. And that's why Zini will probably end up winning the league this year. It's going to be either her, Reflect, or Shep. No one else is going to win the league. It's going to be one of those 3. And now she's at 155 when it just looked like you might be able to keep up. Now Burrow's at 23. Chase is at 27. Chase Brown is at 17. When just like a few minutes ago, all of them were at like under 10. Not anymore. That's why you play 4 quarters.
doing that. What is it?
You know who's wanting a new car? Dick's Auto Group will meet or beat any advertised price.
Now that's something we got to do.
That's right. At Dick's Auto Group, we will
Let's go, baby. 29 subs to go to 20,700. Let's go. We need one more like. One more. Can we get there, baby? Fantastic game.
What will you do when you grow up?
But like I was telling you, Captain, I mean, like I said, you know, if you don't hit on every spot except for like one, when you play one of the top three teams, you're not going to win. It's just, you know, that's just the way that the cookie is going to crumble, bro. Garrett fucked you. Kelsey fucked you. And your Miami defensive selection fucked you, you know. And again, you know, we don't know what Rico will do tomorrow, you know. And you really didn't have anything that you could have put in on the bench besides Judy, but that would have been a big risk, you know. And again, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes when you play against teams that are the best in the league. You know, they're going to be firing on all cylinders, you know, and Reflect and Shep and Zini are the best three, and one of those three is going to win it. That's just how it's going to go. That fourth place team, unfortunately, isn't going to win. And that fourth place team is going to have to play like Reflect or Zini more than likely in the first round, and will probably get fucking obliterated. But, you know, at least you're going to get there, whether that's Captain or Elliott or whoever it may be. But, you know. Yes, agreed. Nice. Now, hopefully they can play like the Seahawks in the third period and catch up and tie it up 2-2. But at this point, 0, not looking too good. But we have seen the Kraken score goals in spurts, you know. But I'm not sure if they're going to do it tonight, but I hope. Yeah, but even if you ended up getting, 10 points out of your defense, right? You know, like if you're looking at your roster and what you scored, right? Even if you got 10 points out of Garrett Wilson or 15, right? And you got 10 out of Kelsey and you got 10 out of your Miami defense, you're still losing, you know? It's just the way that it goes, unfortunately, bro. You know, the teams at the top are at the top for a reason, because those players are, you know, they have more top 10 players in their roster, and that's how it goes. If you got more top 10 players in your starting lineup, then you're going to win. Nice catch. Like Zini has got the number one receiver, the number one defense, and the number one kicker. That's wild. Like, that's very rare to have 3 number ones, bro. And then Burrow is number 4 quarterback. Zay is number 9 wide receiver. So she's got number 1 or number 2 tight end in Bowers. So it's like, if you got so many top 3 spots or top 4, she's got number 4 quarterback, number 1 receiver, Jamar Chase, number 2 tight end, who should be number 1 in Bowers, number 1 defense, and number 1 kicker. That's how you end up constructing a monster team. But her bench isn't very good. So if she has any players get hurt from now to the playoff, she's fucked. But if she doesn't, she's probably going to win it all. Unless Reflect does. Or Shep. But you got like number 8 running back, Breece Hall, number 3 running back, Kamara, number 3 receiver, Wilson, number 3 tight end, Kelsey, number 2 kicker, Boswell. So it's like, you got some good shit too, but, you know, you just unfortunately had what happened to me a couple weeks ago. Reflect in the building. What's good, bro? Big win for the Hawks today for you and for Captain and for Megan. First time that Geno's beat the Niners, and I know that one feels good. 27-27 Chargers and Bengals. And even though I made a bunch of mistakes, at least I'm giving you a battle. Now you got Nico and you got Mixon, and if they play well, I'm going to lose. But at least I'm giving you everything I got, and it's the first time I've been able to use Cooper Kupp and McCaffrey together. So, if I was able to use those guys all year, I would probably be in Shepard's spot. But, coulda, woulda, shoulda. I've made a lot of mistakes this year, so. And if you haven't smash the like button yet, please do. And if Reflect smash that like button, we should be at 20. There we go. Now we're at 20. We hit it, baby. And again, shout out to all the people that were in the stream last night. It was the highest viewed stream in my career. So as far as live stream is concerned, over 15,500 people watched last night. Ducks barely beating Wisconsin. We peaked at over 700 people in the room. And we gained about 30 to 40 subs. So shout out to all the people that were in the room last night, even though a lot of the people that came in were hating, because that's what they do. Bama fans, Georgia fans, Ohio State fans, or just haters of, people having fun. So, yeah. And also I benched Devontae Adams and I went Juwan Jennings. So, and I knew that was going to hit. So, but if I would have done Downs instead of Tillman, and if I would have kept Goff and Jonnu Smith, I would have definitely beat you. But, it is what it is. I just couldn't really trust a quarterback like Stafford and Goff after having a bad last week. But, essentially I was going to do Goff and Jonnu. And if I would have done that, I would have easily beat you. But, now we're going to have to wait to see what Mixon and Nico do. And if they go off, I lose. But if they have good games, I might beat you by like a point. So we'll find out. So. Yeah, but it's not like my lineup was perfect. I left points on the bench. But at least I got to 124. That's a hell of a lot better than 80 to 100 that I put up earlier in the year. But Kareem Hunt fucked me with 6. Mark Andrews with 4. And Tillman with 7. So I don't know if I really deserved to beat you when I had 3 guys shit the bed. Usually Kareem Hunt puts up 15 to 20 for me. Tillman was putting up 18 to 25. And Mark Andrews, normally isn't going to give me a 4, so we'll see how it goes. But one thing is for sure, the champion is going to be Zini, Reflect, or Shepard. That's 100%. Like, there's not going to be anyone else that's going to win the league besides those 3, so, and they've earned it. T-Rex with the deflection there. But even if I lose the Reflect, at least I'm having fun, which it wasn't fun for me all year, but even if I lose, it's nice to be able to put up something, with I have enough players to actually, manufacture a decent score, which wasn't the case all year. I had a good week 1 and I had a good week this week, and that's pretty much it for me. So 27-27 after the Chargers were up 27-6. Big comeback here for the Bengals. Offsides. Flag on the play. And we're at 3:97 to go. But 2 of the biggest streams that we've ever had on this channel were this year. Boise State and Oregon, over 9,700 people. And then last night, Oregon and Wisconsin, 15,500 people plus. So, and as long as Oregon keeps winning, we should have some big numbers like that where we can hit, 10,000 to 15,000 people if we get the algorithm push. And then hopefully the Mariners can get good one day and we can get big numbers on a Mariner stream like that also. But people know me as being the Mariner guy and the Duck guy, and hopefully that can continue for us. Herbert, incomplete. Yes. Bengals have all the momentum, and based on how the game has gone here, it feels like the Bengals more than likely are going to win this game unless the Charger defense can step up to help them slow this game down.
They're on the 13-yard line. It'll be a kick of 40, and now Cincinnati will have a long field as they take over with 11:46.
These guys are kind of good. If you have to go against Zini, man, and they got a matchup even against a good defense like this, doesn't matter. You know, when they're rolling, they're rolling. And again, you know, you got to look at how many top 10 players you have in your lineup. And there's a reason why Reflect, Shep, and Zini are at the top. They got more than anybody else. And then obviously Captain's going to have a chance to be that number 4 team, him or Elliott, more than likely. But you got to win the next 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah, whoever plays Zini in the first round is not going to be fun. You know, it's like you got to hope that you play Shep or that 4th place team. You know, that's why you got to keep your record intact and not have, like you said, you need to beat me to keep that record at the top so you can play the 4th place team, because 2nd place is going to play 3rd place. And if Zini plays Shep, we already know how that will more than likely go down. And then if you can get Zini in the championship, then you might have a shot. But you play Zini in the first round, might not be good. Walltown in the building. What's good?
Be able to make some of those blocks one-on-one on the outside. But you see how physical that T. Higgins is, and just wonder where the Bengals season might have been this year for the fact that he had the best games.
Chase Brown with the short gain. It's crazy like how the momentum shifted so dramatically. I mean, 24-6 at halftime, and now it's 27-27. Chargers have only scored 3 points since halftime, and the Chargers have scored 21. Shotgun set. Burrow going deep. Intercepted. Errant throw by Burrow, but there's a flag on the play. This is the best 4-6 team in the play. And normally in fantasy, you know, when your team is 4-6, the players aren't playing like this. Like normally in a year of Joe Burrow is 4-6, he's not playing this well. Jamar Chase isn't the best receiver in the NFL, and Chase Brown isn't putting up these type of stats, you know, but it's like almost like an anomaly. I've never seen a team like with a losing record have such good quarterback, wide receiver, and running back play like this. It's like the first time ever. And they got a roughing the passer there. Bengals getting all the breaks now. And obviously the Bengals are showing that they can beat up a team like the Ravens that have zero defense, right? But then they also can be resilient and play one of the best defenses in the world, the Chargers. And we'll see what happens. They might end up beating them. And we got Chargers and Ravens next week. Chargers definitely getting battle tested for the playoffs. And the Blazers ended up beating the Hawks, so that was good. We peeked ahead and looked at the schedule. We got 2 games on Christmas on Netflix, but none in the evening. And then we have a game a day after, Hawks and Bears, but I'm going to be front row for the Blazers and the Jazz. So unfortunately, we're not going to have a Christmas stream unless they move that Chiefs game to 5 o'clock in the evening, which I doubt that they're going to. We have a morning game on Christmas at 10 and then an afternoon game at 1:30. but I'm not going to be home from my dad's house in time. So, but we will be doing a Thanksgiving stream of the Packers and the Dolphins, and that'll be the best matchup since we got Lions and Bears on Thanksgiving in the morning, which will be a shellacking, and then you got a barf game with the Giants and the Cowboys in the afternoon, and then you got the best game on Thanksgiving with the Dolphins and Packers, which should be pretty good. So we'll do a live stream on Thanksgiving, but none on Christmas or the day after. And that stinks because I love recording on Christmas. Burrow, go, go, go. Sliding in, safe. First down, Bengals. Yeah. But if AR plays good against the Jets and shits the bed against a good defense or others, then, you know, I guess you can be excited that you at least got the win, but you know, consistency is king. You know, one game doesn't, turn the whole season around. And he had a good week 1 when I started him, and that was a good week, very similar to week 1. But let's see him do it in consecutive weeks or multiple weeks, and then we can start talking, But it's good for this week, but, we got to see some consistency. And I want to see him do it against a good defense. And then, because again, we're not going to get Joe Flacco in the rest of the year. So no matter how good AR does, good, bad, or ugly, he's the quarterback the rest of the year. So we'll see. 27-27, Bengals and Chargers. Burrow threatening again. Yeah, Sharp is our best player. And obviously Klingon gives us that tenacity, effort, and passion on defense. Throw to the sideline, incomplete. Sample the intended target. Incomplete, deep right to Jamar Chase. 4th down. Yeah, Blazers are actually watchable for me now. And now I'm watching almost every game. So thank you, Reflect. Appreciate you. $2 holla. We're at 5 now. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little cactus jack, bang, bang. 95 to go. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos. Shotgun set. And this is obviously the Burrow throw to Chase. That's incomplete. Yeah, we did the $3 dono for for a captain. We did Gino, and we'll get some more Gino up for you. Hell yeah. Surprised Beyonce is going to be performing with all the allegations with him, Jay-Z, and with Beyonce and Diddy. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. And she's one of the guilty people, for sure. Wow, kick is no good. Unbelievable. Kickers have been missing extra points and field goals at a rapid rate this year. Like Justin Tucker used to be one of the best kickers in the world. Now he's bottom 3. What the hell is going on with field goal kickers kicking field goals and extra points this year? Wild. Handoff, J.K. Dobbins. 7-yard gain. Chargers really lucked out because that defense is getting tired and they were reeling. So for them to be able to get that missed field goal, that might be the difference in this game if the Chargers can get a touchdown on this drive. It pays to be lucky sometimes. Good defense there by the Bengals. I've never seen elite kickers, miss so many like chip shots, and I really feel it's like it comes down to like the hash. If you're really and the snap, you have to look at the snapper, the holder, and if it's on the left hash, the right hash, or dead center. I think that's been more of like a factor this year than ever. And it's just like, just maybe bad luck. But I don't think I've seen guys that are so skilled missing extra points and field goals at such a rapid rate. It's just crazy. Flag on the play. And not only is it hurting our teams that we're rooting for, it's killing people in fantasy. Yeah, incredible, crazy stuff, man. But again, this will be the last year that we do it. And then, after I take a year off, we'll see. Unless I change my mind, but I'm pretty set in my mind right now that we're going to take at least, 1 year off, and if other people want to, go somewhere else and do a fantasy league, but, I'm not going to say that this will be the last year of the fantasy league on the channel because I plan on doing this channel until I die. So obviously there's many, many years I hope to continue doing this channel. Pass incomplete. 4th down and 14. Intended receiver, Ladd McConkey. And the Bengals are going to get the ball back, but I feel that, we'll take a break and then more than likely, because I think that'll be, for my mental health, probably the best thing to do. And then maybe in a year or two, maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll never do it again. But, I do love fantasy, though. So I can't say never. More than likely we will do the league again. It's just I'm going to have to take a year or two off. And then before we do it again, I have to, gain back the brain cells that I lost after this year, which I lost a lot. And normally people lose brain cells by drinking too much. Me with this fantasy league. Wow, what a hit. Someone call 911. Woo! What a hit by the Chargers defense. Yeah, I probably won't do it next year. I needed, but like I said, I'm always going to try. I'm always going to put up a lot of effort and, reflect with kid, that I would make so many moves even when my team was good. But it shows you, even when my team isn't good, I'm at 165 moves, and I would still be at that number even if I was undefeated or had one loss like Reflect. So I just like making my team great from the top to all the way to the bottom, even the bench spots. So unfortunately, with all the moves, it just wasn't good enough to be able to recover my team this year. All right, 27-27 all. All right, let's get some Geno photos up here. We're at 5, 95 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. We just broke 20 likes. We're at 5, 95 to go. What a great performance by Geno and the Hawks. First win for Geno Smith against the Niners, and I love it. Now we just got to get the offensive line and defense on point. Got to get better evaluators drafting offensive linemen for the Hawks. And once that happens, things are really going to be cooking. Everything after the Max Unger trade has been bad for them on that line. So hopefully we'll have some, moments of wow and success. But, give it some time. I'm liking some of these Geno photos.
This is what an airport lounge is supposed to be.
And once that offensive line and defense are, top 10, then the Hawks will be in probably the NFC Championship game. Regardless if Geno's a quarterback or not, down the road. If you start building that team up, offensive line and defense end up being the strong suit of the team, watch out, because they're going to be able to compete with everyone in the league at that point. But, let's be honest. Most teams' weaknesses are offensive line and defense. That's just the reality. It's hard to be able to have an elite offensive line and elite defense in this NFL. Yeah, unless we end up doing like that like one bet a year where we do National Tight Ends Day, and then if we end up winning like 10 grand on the channel, yeah, then chances are I'll probably be willing to maybe do another bet. Maybe do 2 bets a year after that happens, and then maybe getting back into fantasy. But I think winning money for people on the channel would be the greatest achievement that we could have. Agreed. Yeah, I love watching you guys, man. And like, I hate watching you guys when you're fucking injured or struggling. It sucks, man. Like, I might not be a Hawk fan myself, but in Oregon, people pay attention to the Hawks. Again, we have a lot of Niner fans in Oregon and Raider fans and, bandwagon Chief fans. And you pretty much walk in a neighborhood and you're going to see a flag, or you're going to see people rocking, Chargers, Raiders, Niners, Hawks. I mean, it's a smorgasbord of fandom in Oregon. Really what you only see is Ducks, Beavers, Blazers. But for NFL, I mean, you just, it could be anybody. But I like being able to see you guys having success. Burrow. T. Higgins, you got to wrap him up. You got to bring him down. And if the Charger defense isn't going to step up, they're reeling right now. Like I said, the first half, they only gave up 6 points. Second half, 21, and they're tired. Okay, it's not like the defense is bad. They're just tired. And I don't think that they're going to be able to have a time to gain their composure or get enough Gatorade in their system. Not Prime, but Gatorade. Remember that. If they're drinking Prime, that's why they're losing. 27-27, Bengals and Chargers. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, if you're in Seattle, you're not going to see anything else unless another team is in the city, visiting. It's always Mariners, Kraken, Sonics, Mariners, Hawks, only Seattle stuff. It's pretty rare that you see anything non-Seattle, and if you do, it's probably from someone that's out of town or a fan of another team. You typically don't walk in the streets of Seattle and just see random Chief, fans walking around. It just, there's a lot of fandom in Seattle, especially when you have all those pro teams there. Burrow. Yosava. Yeah, that was the biggest win this weekend. The Broncos winning and winning big over the Falcons. I don't think anyone anticipated that. The Broncos winning the game by 3. Okay, that's believable. But not the Broncos winning by a fucking billion against a Falcon team that is probably one of the better teams in the NFC South. But now the Saints are starting to win after they fired Dennis Allen, and we had a bye this week. So we'll see how it goes for the NFC South. NFC South might be up for grabs, and especially if the Bucs and Saints start winning and the Falcons start losing. And the NFC West is definitely up for grabs too. Yeah, agreed. Bo played great. And again, Bo is looking like the best rookie quarterback this year, but we said that. Bo and Jaden Daniels were the most NFL ready, and it's showing that is true. Still waiting on J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix Jr. to get their shot when that time comes. Hell, even Drake May is getting better. Caleb is getting better after getting rid of, obviously, a shitty offensive coordinator that you guys had last year and the Bears had this year. Never should have had a fucking job, Caleb isn't trying to be Superman anymore, letting the game come to him. Good for him. First down and 10, man in motion. Shotgun set. Case Brown, short game. I thought this game at one point was going to be bad or terrible, almost unwatchable, because the Chargers were pacing to score 40, right? And then the Bengals started to get, hot, because, imagine if the score is like 41-6 right now. Some people would have turned it off, but thank God the Bengals came back to make it fun. Don't expect the Cowboys to do the same, though, when they play the Texans tomorrow. But we will be watching.
Mike, there's no question about it. It was a defense that had some key people hurt. They were out of the game, sick before the game even started. There was no reason that we saw in the first half to believe.
Manzini's putting up the most 160 to 200 points scores. And, I mean, if you're going to be going against, Zini or Shep or Reflect, and they're putting up 150 to 200, good night. You're not going to have a chance. But Zini has definitely been she might not have the best record, but she's been putting up the biggest scores all year. Reflect has got the best record. Zini's been able to put up the most point, totals throughout the year. But it will be very interesting with Shep and what he might be able to do, or whoever that number 4 team is. Captain, Elliott, or someone else. Wish it was me, but not good enough this year. Because I think with the roster that I have right now, if I was able to be that 4th team, who knows what could happen, especially if I had CMC and Cup healthy playing. But it's not going to be me. Burrow to the sideline, incomplete. T. Higgins, the intended receiver. Pass incomplete to Jamar Chase. 4th down and 8. Massive. Yeah, Dak is out for the year. He's had surgery. He's done. So that CD Lamb value isn't, unfortunately, your receivers in the draft were incredibly smart. Rashee Rice and Nico and CD, and all the guys that you've gotten, but just injuries to the player and injuries to the quarterbacks will be a killer. Like, remember me last year, Mike Evans, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, I had, all those receivers, but at the end of the year, I wasn't even able to use Mike Evans or Keenan Allen because Herbert got hurt. So it's like, I had 4 really good wide receivers, but at the end of the year, I only had 2 that I could use. So it sucks, when you end up building a superstar team, but sometimes you're not able to use all those guys the whole year. 51-yarder. No good. Wow. It's a field goal party. I haven't seen field goal kickers be this shitty. This might be the craziest year in fantasy field goal kicking and just in general. I don't know if I've seen a year like this, and maybe this is just the anomaly year. Fantasy, it's just been a weird year. I've seen more people hit with red 1 and in red numbers, hit 20 points than ever. I haven't seen kickers miss this much ever. I definitely need to take a break from fantasy. So I might be back after next year, but definitely not doing it next year. I need to regain my mental health. Oh, my. Yeah, the main thing is just, the defense being healthy. And also you guys had your center retire midweek, Connor Williams, and you cut a linebacker. So, again, a lot of drama in the building, but still got it done against the Niners. So, congrats. A lot of teams would have failed, based off the drama, And Ducks got a bye week, and then we'll be playing Captain and Reflects Huskies at home. Could be a close one, like we had against Boise State and Wisconsin. Rivalry game, too. Almost picked. And plus, I imagine, bulletin board material, not being able to ever beat, the Niners. Gino was 0 for 4, 0 for 5. And now you can release those demons, pull that monkey off your back, and realize, hey, I can beat them. You know what I mean? It's tough, It wasn't easy, and you guys did it on the road, which makes it even more special. It wasn't in front of the home fans. It was in front of the Niner fans. Even better. Incomplete. Wow. Palmer with the drop. Wow, this game is crazy. Are we going to get an overtime game? I mean, field goal kickers can't make kicks. Like, even if the Bengals get into field goal range, can he even make the kick? Like, I already knew this year was weird when Justin Tucker, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest kickers of all time, is bottom 3 in the NFL. Like, what world are we living in? Is this the upside down? Is this Stranger Things? I'm starting to believe that it is. This is like the weirdest year in the NFL that I can remember. Fair caught. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're at 20. See if we can get maybe a couple more people to hop in before the stream possibly ends. If it goes to overtime, we'll get a few more for sure. Shotgun set. Burrow. Flushed out. Flag on the play. Another flag. Laundry on the field. Holding on the offensive line more likely. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. And COVID is still around. You're correct. Luckily, I'm one of those individuals that never got it. But again, I don't really hang out with a whole lot of people. But even with that being said, even going to the store and getting groceries, you could get it there. Burrow. Going deep and complete. Oh, my God. Jamar Chase. Second down and 10. Shotgun set. And complete to Chase Brown. Yeah, and especially for a lot of us in the room, a lot of us are OGs. It's not like everyone in the room is, 12 years old or 15 years old or 18 years old. Like, we're going to have some fans that are younger, 18 to 21, but a majority of the fans on the channel, are going to be, 30 to probably 70 years old. Like, we have as young as, maybe 10 to 12, but they go as old as around 90. But I would say a majority are going to be from 20 to maybe 55. That's kind of our wheelhouse. So. Burrow and complete. I'm curious now. Let's take a quick peek to see about the audience. All right, here's the numbers. So 13 to 17, 0.8. 18 to 24, 16.5%. 25 to 34 years old, 28.4, number 1. 35 to 44, 18.9%, number 2. 45 to 54, 15.2%. And then 55 to 64 years old, 10.8. And 65 years old and up, 9.4. So, it's a pretty good range from 18 to 80. Not a whole lot from 13 to 17, but again, we don't really have a lot of content for young kids, so. Happy early birthday, 48. is a wild game. So it was 27-6, right? And then, or 24-6 at halftime. And then now 21 points scored by the Bengals, 3 by the Chargers. And now they're having problems kicking field goals. And this one could go anyway. Herbert going deep. Wow, Lad McConkey. First down, Chargers. And the Chargers might end up winning this game 30-27. It looks like it. Wow. But it kind of makes sense, you know, for the top 4, right? 25-34 years old, number 1. Number 2, 35-44, number 2. 18-24, number 3. And then 45-54, number 4. That's like our main bracket, which makes sense. Man, this game had me like this in the first half, but now I'm like this. And now I'm like this. Let's go. Electric. Yeah, it could go to overtime if we get a missed kick. Dicka the kicker. Herbert. Incomplete. But 2 of the best quarterbacks on planet Earth going at it. Pretty amazing. And imagine if Herbert actually ends up getting a Jamar Chase on his team. Then Herbert's stats are going to go through the fucking roof with Harbaugh head coach. You know, like imagine if Justin Jefferson was on the Chargers, you know, that type of receiver. Amon-Ra was on the Chargers. Jamar Chase was on the Chargers. Once that happens, maybe that's when the Chargers end up making the Super Bowl or AFC Championship game. No disrespect to Lad McConkey and any of the other guys, but woo! Lad McConkey! Move the chains. This game is about to be over. Yep. The Bengals might be the best 4-6 team in the league. Again, their players, I've never seen a team that has a losing record that have players that are just killing it in fantasy. Burrow, Jamar Chase. You know, usually they'll be like okay numbers where like Burrow's putting up, 15. Jamar Chase is putting up, 10-14. And maybe Chase Brown, 10 points, 11, but it's a wild year. Yeah. Yeah, T. Higgins having a big day. Yes, sir. He's a great route runner. He's a great college player. Handoff. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Game over. Oh, my. But, right? As long as you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, right? Just like Patrick Mahomes, back in the day when he had Tyreek, it's not over till it's over. Joe Burrow could throw a Hail Mary for 60 yards and Jamar Chase could catch it and score, right? Normally we'd be like, oh, it's over. But when Burrow and Chase have been playing like, the best quarterback and the best wide receiver combo, it ain't over till it's over, even though it looks like it's over. Wow. Extra point is up and good. Unbelievable. Way to bring that electricity. He's kind of good. All right, Bengals. I mean, you never know. Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase for a 50-yard touchdown if they get a decent return here. Or Joe Burrow to T. Higgins. That could happen too. It's not over till it's over. These guys have a bond. It's very strong. Could it happen? Got to wait till those clocks say 0, 0, 0. Oh, my. What a game. Chief Chief in the building. What's good? Crazy game, man. And the loss obviously stings to the Bills, but it's better to get the loss out of the way like I was telling you. You know what I mean? Yeah, Kareem Hunt wasn't able to get in the end zone, and that was the difference. If Kareem Hunt had a good game, you guys would have won. But the Bills defense, kind of shut him down. That was the difference, as well as shutting down Kelsey. So, you guys will be able to get more dubs, and again, the AFC is a little bit deeper this year, right? It's not just the Chiefs and the Bills, right? You got the Ravens, you got the Chargers, you got the Steelers. It's going to be up for grabs. So, but it's better to get the loss out of the way now and try to be able to have a good December. So, like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Chief, you could do that for me. That would be great. And we're at 5:95 to go in the goal. Anyone that can help me on that end, that would be great too. Burrow. See, I told you, man, you never can count out Burrow and Chase. Again, now if they had Boyd also, it would even be better because Boyd is another guy. Avoid the Boyd who ended up leaving the team. But again, Yoshavash and some of these other guys, Sample and Jaceki, they got guys that can make plays. But what a catch there against the grain, against the momentum with his body coming up with that catch. Unbelievable. Because normally when the ball is going right and your body is going left, you don't make that catch. Unbelievable throw and catch after getting blasted. Going away from the momentum of your body and coming down. A Yoshavash with a catch. Oh, my. And again, now if you go deep to Higgins or Chase, they could catch it. Good to see you in the room, Chief. Full Chief. Love you, brother. Shotgun set. Burrow. Going deep. Sideline. Incomplete. Yeah, big win for the Hawks. And for the people that, I've already mentioned this, but we had the largest live stream on the channel's history last night. We had over 15,500 people. We had 700 people plus in the room. That's the most ever. And we gained 30 to 40 subs. The Ducks won. And it was pretty amazing. And again, two of the largest streams that we've ever had on the channel ever have been this year. Ducks in Boise State, 9,700 people. And then last night, 15,500 plus with the Ducks in Wisconsin. Mostly haters coming in at the end, hoping that the Ducks would lose. A bunch of Bama fans, Georgia fans, Ohio State fans, and just haters hoping that I lose and the Ducks lose, which is normal. So hopefully the Ducks continue their success. The Mariners can get to that point also, and then we'll have more streams of that caliber. Can't wait. Because if the Ducks win the Natty, oh my, we're definitely going to have a couple more of those big streams. I'm really the only Oregon Duck live streamer, that's on YouTube. So, and I'm one of the biggest on the Mariner side also. So if I can get that recognition of being the Seattle Mariner YouTuber and the Oregon Duck YouTuber, then eventually things are going to get bigger and bigger on this channel. Shout out to all the goats in the room. I appreciate you guys. And that is it. Final score, 34-27 Chargers, but the Bengals gave everything they could in that matchup. Wow. What a game. What a game. I mean, for a game that was 24-6 that ended up 34-27, the Bengals are the best 4-6 team in the league. I mean, honestly, now they're 4-7, right? And the Chargers are 7-3, but the Bengals easily could be 7-4 or have the same record as the Chargers. Wild. Chief will Chief, thank you so much for the support, bro. Thank you. Chief will Chief with a tenner. Thank you, Chief.
Joe Burrow was 356, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And it's that heated, sinking feeling that is happening all year.
Thank you, Chief. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. All right, so we're going to stay online here for just a couple more minutes. And then, again, I'm going to do food photos for Chief will Chief. So for everyone, I think besides maybe Megan, cover your eyes if you're still in the room. And again, if you end up having to take off, you have to take off. But I'm going to do a few photos here for Chief will Chief for food. What do you want to do, Chief? Do you want to do breakfast food? Do you want to do Mexican food? Because I know that's what Chief wants to see. And then we'll end up calling it a night. So, but I'm going to do food here. And then we're going to call it a day. And then I got to go take a 45-minute walk with Paisley. And I got to eat dinner. I'm starving. So, and then we'll be live tomorrow for the Cowboys and the Texans. All right, let me grab some food photos here. I'm doing breakfast. I'm on it already. And I honestly miss doing streams like this, again, and hopefully we can get to a point where, we are a popular channel and we're bigger and we're going to have more people in the room, consistently. And then we can end up doing a theme stream one day where we just do one a week, for like an hour or two. And, we end up having enough people in the room to make it worthwhile. And all we do is do food. That's it, and then, based off the donos, that'll, decide the direction of the next food group that we go to or food category. That's one of my dreams for the channel, that we can actually get to that point, where we can end up doing like a food stream once a week, as a filler stream. So. I mean, nothing looks better than HD 4K food photos. Football photos, awesome. Wrestling photos, awesome. Landscape photos, awesome. Cars, awesome. But again, food, undefeated. Nothing looks better. We're at 15. Let's go, baby. Chief will Chief with another $5. Now we're at 20. Thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $5 holla, appreciate you. Megan with a $5. I appreciate you very much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. And I'll try to get you a photo of something maybe non-food related once I get to that point here before I end the stream. Thank you so much. We're at 25. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And then let me know what you want for your photo, food related or non-food related, Megan, and I got you. This is one of the best chicken and waffle photos on the planet. It's my boy, Jay Herb, baby. Go Ducks. Nice to be able to see Oregon quarterbacks like Bo Nix and Justin Herbert finally getting some respect. God, that one looks so good. Tell him, lad. Lad McConkey would have made a perfect New England Patriot with Tom Brady.
I've been through. I just keep praying, keep working hard. I got these dudes with me, man. Amazing. You see what they do. So I just follow behind them.
Did you know you were going to score?
Yes.
All right, congratulations.
You see the other hard boss, John and the Ravens coming here next Monday night. Well, he's got so much going on this week. Starting with the series today of the tackle that keeps the adrenaline going, which is meant to force we can wrap up this game of the day in the NFL. Sunday Night Football final starts right now, streaming on Peacock.
Two of the most incredible.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
With the comeback that Cincinnati, they did everything in their power to come back. They tied it up a couple hours.
Me too. Facts.
How did the Bengals get back in it? And then ultimately how did the Chargers finish them?
Like seriously, you almost want to like bite your computer screen or your phone or whatever you're watching on. Like some of the HD 4K photos are like so good where it's like you can almost taste the photo. And that's what photos I look for. Like they're so good that it like you can almost imagine yourself taking a bite into some of this delicious goodness that we have in front of you. Now, obviously, Megan being vegan, she's not able to really take part in a lot of these things. But, you know, again, we'll be able to cater to her in just 1 second here. Oh, my God. I'm in breakfast heaven right now. I don't know what to do with myself. I haven't had a good breakfast in a long time. Not like this. Oh, look at the blueberries. My God. Oh, my goodness. Wild.
Coach Harbaugh, step up to the press conference. Excited to hear from him and then everything else we got coming up as we make our way through the show. Let's get into the highlights.
Yes, agreed. One of my favorites. And they're very good with antioxidants. I feed Paisley regular and organic blueberries and strawberries and whatnot. But wow. I mean, this one is just like, I don't even know if my taste buds can handle something like this. That looks incredible. I mean, all of them look incredible. If we're really being honest. I'm in breakfast heaven right now. You guys with me? Yeah. Raspberry, blackberry, love those too. I give those to Paisley as well. And then I got to hit you with the waffles, the pancakes, and I got to give you the crepes. We can't go without the crepes. If you've never had a crepe, go somewhere and get one. It'll end up being one of your favorite things. Trust me. And especially if you get one that has the sausage in the middle. So you get the sweet and the savory. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And crepes are a little unusual. You're not going to find them in every breakfast spot. Normally it's just waffles, pancakes. Not every location or restaurant will sell crepes or make them. It has to kind of be a specialty place like Pig and Pancake here in Oregon. And not only do I do the photos to get you guys hungry and give you motivation on what to maybe eat at some point later this week, but also just to appreciate the, HD 4K greatness of this food. Eggs Benedict with salmon. See if I can get a photo of that for you. Eggs Benedict with some smoked salmon.
It's impossible for a DB to cover somebody with 6 seconds. This is what was not happening in the first half. They didn't have this kind of time. Chase just out. Cross the offensive line. They did a better job in the second half.
The Bengals, they fight their hearts out in the second half to set up Evan McPherson.
I hope he had the gun.
51 a win. This is what they call
Yeah.
Started out
All right, what else do you want to be able to see, Megan, for photos? Do you have any other foods or anything else if you want to keep it in the food theme? Or do you want to go to something other than that for some of your photos? Yeah, French toast is also great as well. Grilled salmon. Let me see what I can find with grilled salmon. Yeah, me and Paisley eat salmon.
This is one of the craziest games we've seen all year. How would you describe it from your perspective?
We didn't play all the way we want to play on defense.
Yeah, I usually eat salmon about once a week. Once a week or once every 2 weeks. Or maybe once or twice a week. Very healthy. I'm not, like I said, I don't, I had to change my diet a lot, so.
Tell us about what you think your role is. Just being that leader.
I know you don't like the lemon, but this particular photo is one of the ones that at least is halfway decent. Take the lemon off. Oh, it didn't even load. I was about to say it was going to load, and then it didn't. Oh, here we go. Hold on. See if I can find one without lemon.
So just seeing him battle back and go through adversity and give everything, giving us a chance every week, man. Nobody works harder than JJ. Nobody how to do better than JJ. We love him. We said before you got here, right now, we're talking covered a lot of Charger games. Man, these were games the Chargers used to lose 4 years ago. What's different now? Believing in each other. Jim Harbaugh installing his culture, and we just gonna keep stacking the days. Getting better, we can clean up some stuff. And,
now, this next one doesn't have lemon, but it has lime. I don't know if you can eat lime, but this one is a sriracha cedar plank salmon. That actually looks really good, but I don't know if lime is same thing with lemon for you.
We thought we had him, but Joe just giving him a chance, man. That's the type of quarterback you got to be able to go play on the road. Nothing but respect to that team. Nothing but offensive team. What was the difference in their offense from the first half and the second half? It seemed like they were a lot more aggressive. More aggressive.
Nice. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Let me go through the photos one more time. And then I got to take Paisley on a walk, and I got to eat dinner here. Thank you so much for your guys' support, and hopefully this will give you guys some ideas. We'll be live tomorrow for the Texans and the Cowboys, and then we'll be able to get some maybe more photos like this at halftime or in the end of the stream to get our taste buds going. Whether it ends up being breakfast with waffles or pancakes or crepes, or if we end up jumping it and going into something like Eggs Benedict with the salmon, yes, please. Or if we're going into something more lunch or dinner oriented like salmon, let's go. I got some ideas for lunch, dinner, and breakfast now. But you guys are the best. I love you guys and I appreciate you. Thank you for the dono train right there at the very, very end. Yeah, and I'll get you some more. No problem. I'll get you more, obviously, tomorrow. Final score, Chargers 34, Bengals 27. You guys are the best. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Love you guys, and I'm out. Okay.